Did you ever think you would make it? I feel I'm so close, I could taste sweet victory. I know this life meant for me.
Adam, what's your point? The future looks bright.
My handshake is better than anything I ever signed. Right here.
You are a one-of-one?
My son's right about
I don't think I've ever said this before.
All right, folks, if you're Italian, we're back, according to what the president had to say. Columbus Day is back, folks. A lot of exciting things here that's taking place. Chicago mayor not too happy about a few things that's going on. Letitia James. Do you remember Letitia James?
Tish!
The one that was going after the president for a bunch of different things. Apparently, she's the one that's actually doing the dirty work.
Uh-oh.
And she actually just got indicted. Right, Rob? Yesterday. She got indicted, and she has a message for you. We'll play for you. She wants to talk to you guys today, right off the bat in the morning. And then aside from that, Trump says the first phase of Gaza peace plan has been signed. I have never seen so many leftist, liberal, mainstream media folks having to say what Trump did is monumental. Yep. What he did is incredible. And then one host says, asking another liberal host, how big of a deal this is. This may be one of the greatest things we've ever seen. I mean, it was as if everybody became Trump's agent, manager yesterday from
Publicist.
the left, except for one organization. What? And that one organization is a guy from back in the days who didn't like the way his name was being built, so he started something called the Nobel Peace Prize. And they were looking at who to give it to yesterday. After all the stuff that happened, they chose to give it to somebody that's been on the podcast before. Maria Corina Machado is who got it instead of Trump, the Nobel Peace Prize. Just because she went up against Maduro. Nothing else has happened yet. She got the Nobel Peace Prize over Trump. That's who got it yesterday. I don't know if it's finalized or not, Tom. You can probably correct me. It's been finalized, but it looks like
it's
going to be her.
It's been announced.
And
I don't remember her speech at the Berlin Wall. She must have done one.
Yeah, and Zelensky was pissed because he's like, I would recommend Trump if he just gave us more Tomahawk missiles.
Can you imagine that? Like, hey, give us more Tomahawk missiles, we'll nominate you.
What?
You give me instrument of death, I give you peace
maybe
vote.
say that privately, but you say that publicly.
Yeah.
What a level of... You know, that's what you call a professional beggar, where you are so shameless, the level of shameless is purely gone.
It's a mob deal.
It is a mob deal. I agree. Anyways,
oh my goodness.
Chris Cuomo and Eric Trump, he was asked a question, and Eric Trump just went, he went off. He went off in a big way, and we'll have that clip.
Love it.
We'll react to as well. And then we got a few other things that's going on here. Trump, I think, Rob, is he already in, he's planning on going to Egypt this Sunday or this weekend, something like that, right?
Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday he's planning on going to Egypt. Apparently, Israel is paying influencers up to $7,000 per post to occupy information space. And actually, out of everybody on the panel here that wants to talk about it, it's Adam. Adam's going to give the details of how those payments are made.
Yeah, exactly.
And how they
I'm
send
a billionaire
it through.
now,
Venmo?
actually. I don't know if you know that. 150 million ain't what it used to be, though, guys.
Yeah.
You know that. Come on.
Gazans join
Cat food's
Israelis
expensive.
in chanting Trump's name over ceasefire. Nobel Prize to Trump. Guess what, Gazans? It went to Maria Corina Machado, is who we went to. But it is what it is. Hakeem Jeffries goes on CNBC, and CNBC starts asking Hakeem Jeffries some questions, and he starts talking about how America is doing, and Hakeem doesn't like it. Yeah, just the look on his face is the best face to look at when you see what's going on there.
Little fire scarecrow.
Yeah. Zoran Mamdani admits he might need Plan B to fund $10 billion agenda if he can't hike taxes on the wealthy. Okay, on the wealthy. In the city with the most billionaires, he wants to go after them. It is what it is. He's going to win. And Andrew Cuomo was on The View saying Trump wants Mamdani to win because Trump's going to use this on the midterms to say this is what the face of the new Democratic Party is. So who knows? Who knows what's going to happen there? Stephen Miller swats down CNN's host dumb questions about Trump administration, racially profiling. And then this one Arab in Dearborn says, I don't feel safe anymore. Dearborn's Arabs, Americans on rising Islamophobia.
So an Arabic person who
Says they don't feel safe in America.
and they're Muslim themselves.
So why don't they go back to,
It's very
whatever,
fun.
Saudi
I
or
heard it's
Afghanistan or
This
Pakistan?
time of
or-
year, it's amazing.
Why don't you
Actually,
go
it's a
back there?
moderate who's saying these other people are kind of crazy, guys.
Is that what this guy's saying?
Yeah, you can go check him
Okay,
out.
well, we'll check him out to see what's going on here. But
But that's very inconvenient.
yeah, it's
Oh,
very
yeah.
inconvenient.
Oh, yeah.
It is what it is. But there's this new person, folks. That's my favorite person to watch videos of. I'm telling you, I am hooked on Katie Porter.
How many videos have you
This
seen?
lady is absolutely nuts.
I love
She's awesome. She is made for TV. Her temper is worse than a Middle Eastern father's temper. His temper is worse than, I don't know, Mike Ditka. Think about who's got the worst temper. Bill O'Reilly is a sweetheart compared to this person.
Yep.
And when you watch California, this is a shout out for you guys because I'm so happy for you. You're about to get her potentially as your next governor. She's amazing. You think Newsom's bad? Wait till you get Katie Porter coming to a
Well, she might not be
California
running.
city
The View has
near
offered her
you.
a 3-year deal.
No, Tom. I'm telling you, she is not. She's a person that's determined and driven by control, not by money. She wants to control people.
Yeah.
You will see by the way she speaks.
Well, she's in the right state.
Yep.
She's in the right states. California, more good news coming your way. Communities will not survive. Insurance nightmares could empty small California towns.
Yep.
Okay? You know what I know about people in California? They're so loyal, they'll never leave. They will never leave.
They're like
Listen,
they're like Browns
no,
fans,
no.
football. Even
if,
better
if
than that.
Ilhan Omar became the governor of California, they would stay even longer, especially Armenians and Assyrians and Middle
get
Eastern.
I don't get it. The
I have
loyalty.
so much respect for these Armenians, Assyrians, and Middle
What
Easterns,
is-
Persians, Iranians. شما ایرانی هستین که اصلا نمیدونم. من از کالیفرنیا من نمیرم فلوریدا تگزاس این آمریکایی همه I'm not going nowhere. I mean, their level of loyalty to folks like Katie Porter, Newsom, and all the ridiculous regulations.
Is it like Stockholm syndrome where they fall in love with their abuser? Like, no, I can't.
Exactly.
California loves me.
Watch your
Yeah, it
language.
abuses me, but I
California
love
can
her.
put laxatives
called
in the
nobility.
water so that you couldn't
But
work
let
for
me
more
tell
than
you,
5 minutes at a time.
But
and
I'm
people
telling
would
you,
stay.
the other day at the boardroom,
Yeah.
when we had Eric Trump here
Yeah.
at the cigar lounge, I spoke to 15 Armenians.
Really?
I'm telling you. And I'm like, why did you get here? We have a business out of Miami. We moved here because of video of, 10 reasons why I moved to Florida. What are you doing here? I run the Ferrari shop. What are you doing here? I run this. I met this couple, beautiful couple, Ferrari guy, Jack. Phenomenal couple. Talked to him and his wife. Great story, the way they met, where they're from, and the whole story was fantastic. Then another couple comes in. Then a bunch of Glendale people were there. I'm telling you, God kept this city of Boca Raton for Armenians and Assyrians.
And they're coming.
And the right ones.
Yes.
Not all of them. The right ones are coming. The super loyalists to California
They're staying.
and Detroit and Chicago and Turlock, there's no way they will come.
Hell no.
But the big thinkers that have big plans for their kids, that are job creators,
They're coming here.
They're coming to Boca Raton. Okay? And listen, I'm not running for mayor of Boca. Boca is going to be the beneficiary of this. But you're going to see Boca's the closest thing to Beverly Hills, meets Glendale, meets the rich areas of certain areas. You're going to see Armenian churches in Boca, right down the street. They're coming. Anyways, not that I'm
And my
lobbying.
mom lives in Boca,
Yeah.
guys. So
Well,
let's
I
come
go to
say
the
hi to
mall
my
every
mom.
weekend. I go there to get chicks.
Where-
That place is awesome.
Remember that one time
They're all 70
we
and
went
older, buddy.
me, Vinny, and the kids went to the mall one time. It was me. Were you me and
Yeah, we ran
bought
through
a
to
gift
get
for Jen or
yeah,
something?
we ran through.
And Vinny is like, what the hell is going on here?
How many beautiful people were
Listen, you just got the wives of the Armenian husbands saying, babe, we're not going to Boca.
Yeah, stay out of the.
So
So you
listen-
cruised? You cruised
Yeah.
your chicks in Boca?
Oh, chicks.
Yeah,
everywhere.
they were
Baby,
everywhere.
take
Did
out
you
your
hear
teeth and
Tom's
show me a good time.
Question?
What?
Okay, let me just go since Thomas.
Yeah.
Go to the next one. Gay throuple adopts 3-year-old
Great.
child in legal battle over 3 dads that's dividing woke dystopia. Give me a flipping break.
That's what they want to call it.
Oh, my
Okay.
goodness. Okay. Bill Maher rips Kamala Harris for playing victim over campaign loss in her new book, 107 Days. Turning Point USA announces alternative Super Bowl halftime show. I think if there's anybody that can pull that off and do it the right way with all the right context, is these guys. A lot of people message me saying, do you guys want to do it? I said, I think TPUSA is going to be the right person to do it, and I'm glad they're doing it. And we'll see who's going to be showing up there. Diddy. Feds keep Diddy's videos. The Ibiza tapes that he took, the one that we also got on the jet and boxes of things that they had.
Yeah.
Devices used in sick freak-off sex sessions. The Fed got it. Now, the Feds have it. Now, can you imagine what the Feds are going to be doing? Like, the guys, this weekend, we're going to watch all the tapes.
Oh, my God.
Imagine that's what you do for a living. That's your job. You're like, hey, who's in? Dude, I'm in. And you sit there watch all the tapes. All these FBI guys are sitting there saying, no way.
She was there.
He with him?
Is that Meek Mills?
He with her? And then 2 weeks later, what were in the tapes? Nothing.
Nothing. Zero.
Nothing was in the tapes.
We could use them as evidence in the trial.
Yeah.
No, that's what they think we would do.
You mean it's like the tens of thousands of hours that Penn Bondi was talking about, but that doesn't exist anymore? Okay, gotcha.
I talked to somebody interesting yesterday that was with the DOJ. But anyways, Donald Trump confirms Sean Diddy Combs requested a pardon. Okay, Democrats demand robot tax as AI reportedly threatens to replace 100 million jobs. By the way, guys, this is not a joke. Like, this is real. Matt Walsh tweeted something yesterday that I actually agree with him on this tweet. Rob, if you can find his tweet about AI, I'm going to show it here in a minute as we go through it. So it's, I don't know if I agree 100%, but I do think it's coming. And I think people have to be ready for it. It's going to be nasty when this thing comes and it arrives. And outside of that, we got a couple other stories here that we'll cover as well. And, some videos to share with you. Abigail Sparringer, Winsome, Earl Sears, Spar in Virginia governor. What a freaking, give me simple names. Anyways, these people in Virginia are fighting. So we'll show you the clips. Telegram's Durov. Internet's becoming ultimate tool of control. Bingo. And a few other things that we'll cover on this side. IRS announces new federal income tax bracket for 2026. But before we get into the podcast, folks, October 14th. You know whose birthday is on October 14th? The great Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
This morning, you know what I was doing this morning? I was watching a podcast that we did with Charlie. And as I was watching it, I was telling myself, I so miss talking to this guy. And I was like hoping for another conversation with this guy, but he's no longer with us. So this is what we're doing today. We did it last month, and we're going to announce it again when all the sales that happen. Anything you buy, we have new shirts here, okay? That's Charlie Kirk that says live free, freedom, live free. Any of these shirts with Charlie Kirk's face on it, 100%, not profits. It's our cost. The ones that say freedom, live free, that are the Charlie Kirk's shirts, 100% of the proceeds are going to Charlie Kirk's kids for future college, business, whatever they choose to do.
Wow.
And I mean 100% of all the stuff that we're talking about. So if it's $50,000, it's going that way. It's $100,000, going that way. $200,000, it's going that way to their kids. So if you're somebody that loves Charlie and you want to get one of these shirts that says freedom to live free, go to the other one, Rob, if you don't mind going back. The other one that says live free, or the one that says freedom on the right, top right. This one is sick, by the way. Look at that shirt right there.
Oh, his face is in there.
Yeah, this one that says live free. This is a newer one.
That's bad.
Go back, Rob, if you can, and then go to the one on the right, the top right one. Red, Charlie Kirk, freedom. Any of these shirts you pick up, 100% of the proceeds will go to his kids. October 14th, this is one way of us giving a gift to him who is no longer with us here today. Thank you for your support. With that being said, let's get into the podcast. My new favorite person in California. It's a lady named Katie Porter.
I love her.
This lady's lost her mind, but she's so authentic in the craziest way. I don't know what else to say about this one.
She's consistent.
You're gonna watch. My worry is when I show you clips of her, you're gonna get off and keep watching clips of her. Okay? I don't want to start off with this one, Rob.
Yeah.
Let's start off with the interview where the lady's asking basic question, and she's like, why are you asking me this question? We asked this question of all the candidates.
Oh.
No, but why are you asking me that question? We asked these questions of everybody. No, but why are you asking me this question? If you go in, Rob, you can start it from a minute in. Actually, go in.
And she almost like puts her hand
Yeah,
right in
go
her
start
face.
it from
Look
right
at-
there. Watch
look at
this.
her
folks.
hands.
Go ahead, Rob. She's running for governor, by the way. Let me just pause this real quick. She's running for governor of California to replace Newsom. So she's going to make you guys say, can we keep Newsom?
Oh, God.
That's how bad she is. Go ahead.
The question is the same thing I asked everybody.
Go back 10
This is
seconds.
being
Yeah.
called.
They both use their hands. All the governors.
Go ahead.
Look at her.
Republican votes before. That's not something every candidate in this race can say. If you're from a deep blue area, if you're from LA or you're from Oakland, you don't have an
But
experience.
you just said you don't need those Trump voters.
Well, you asked me if I needed them to win.
So you don't
I
think
feel
you
like
need
this
to
is
vote?
unnecessarily argumentative. What is your question?
The question is the same thing I asked everybody, that this is being called the empowering voters to stop Trump's power grab. Every other candidate has answered this question. This is not
Correct. And I
argumentative.
said I support it.
So, and the question is, what do you say to the 40% of voters who voted for Trump?
Oh, I'm happy to say that. It's the do you need them to win part that I don't understand. I'm happy to answer the question as you have it written, and I'll answer it.
And we've also asked the other candidates, do you think you need any of those 40% of California voters to win? And you're saying, no, you don't.
No, I'm saying I'm going to try to win every vote I can. And what I'm saying to you is that
Well, to those voters, okay, so you...
I don't want to keep doing this. I'm going to call it.
Democrat.
Thank you.
Can't argue, can't debate.
You're not going to...
And the lady interviewing her is a
Nope, not like
Democrat.
this.
I
I'm
know,
not
that's
with
a
7
messed up
follow-ups
thing.
to every single question you ask.
Every other candidate has
Look at
I
answered.
love how she handled it.
I don't care.
I love
wanna
how
have
she
a
handled it.
pleasant,
People on the left.
positive
Listen.
conversation in which you ask me about every issue on this list. And if every question you're going to make up a follow-up question, then we're never going to get there.
Ms.
And we're
Porter,
just going to circle around.
I am an investigative
I have never had to do
reporter.
this before, ever.
Look at her. Never
You've
been
never
challenged.
had to have a
end an
conversation
interview.
with...
To end an
I've
interview.
never been challenged like
Okay,
this.
but every other candidate has done this.
What part of
Oh, wow.
I'm me? I'm running for governor because I'm a leader.
Jeez.
So I am going to make...
So you're not going to
You're
answer
a big
questions
leader.
from reporters? Okay, why don't we go through? I will continue to ask follow-up questions because that's my job as a journalist, but I will
I
go through
love
and
how
ask these.
poised
And
she's
if
staying.
you don't want to answer, you don't want to
She's
answer.
a Christian.
So nearly
Nice and
every
calm.
legislative...
I don't want to have an unhappy experience with you.
Look at this.
And I
Look
don't
at
want
this.
this all on camera.
Now
I'm
she's
warning
embarrassed.
you.
Have any experience with you either.
Now
I would
she's
love to
embarrassed.
continue to ask these
She wants
questions
to
so
say,
that we
let's
can
start
show
from
our
the beginning.
viewers what every candidate
Okay.
feels
By
about
the way,
every one of
pause
these
it
issues
right
that they
here. This is nothing compared to the next one. This next one is how she loses it on one of her team members. Watch this. This is what you call greatness, folks.
Okay.
This is made for TV. The world needs to see this. She was a rock star the last 24 hours on X.
100%.
Everybody and their mothers wanted to make sure people knew how sweet she is. Watch this one. Go ahead. Imagine this.
We did a study recently this
Look
fall.
to her-
in
look to her
September,
right, to her
and
left.
what it showed is if we don't electrify our transportation
3,
sector,
2,
so we're going to lose more than
1.
500,000
gonna show
Californians
up.
dying prematurely to air pollution and other problems, and the state could lose. Get out of my fucking shop!
Wow.
I wanted to tell you that that's actually incorrect. It's not that it's electric vehicles. It's that if we don't meet the commitments under the Paris Climate Accord.
Okay, it does. Okay, you also were in my shop before that. Stay out of my shop. Okay, I'm going to start again.
She's
with,
amazing.
Filming in her
electric vehicle
living room?
safety.
Who
Yes,
is
ma'am.
Kitchen. What do you mean? That's a
Someone's kitchen.
refrigerator.
This is. Do you remember when Elizabeth Warren had the beer in her kitchen? They're
amazing.
doing the same thing. They're trying to make her. Hey, I'm a middle class
Can we-
screaming wench of a stepmother, just like you have.
And just really quick, just to point out, the assistant or whoever that is wearing a mask, takes it off to talk, and then puts it back on. Just how
it an old
ludicrous
video?
these people
Watch
are.
this.
I will
folks.
take
Just
off the
watch how
mask,
she goes
project
from
my
sweet.
saliva
She goes from sweet.
atomization.
Look at this. Go ahead.
Oh, yes. This is why I didn't want to do. I need the lights
for it.
off, the bright lights. I'm so sorry, but I am about to get on. Bernard, I need you to turn these off.
Bright lights. Bright lights.
These that are killing me.
She's in
Hang on
somebody
one
else's
second,
studio.
everybody.
She's in somebody else's studio. Demanding. Look at this.
Yes, yes, we should have.
Oh my
Yes.
God.
Okay, everybody. I'm not that dark.
Oh my! Look at
Oh,
her.
not
bro.
that dark.
I'm googling her husband as this happens. I have to find out who he is.
Just a minute.
She's buried in the
have a
backyard,
husband,
Vinny.
bro. There's
You can-
no
you
chance
can
she's
pa-
married.
You can pause it right there.
How much you want to bet she's not married?
She's married.
The best
She has
part
a
is-
daughter.
Oh,
She's
that's
married.
Is she still married?
Oh,
I'm gonna take a guess. here.
he's hot. You think she let him divorce? Are you
Yeah.
crazy?
Can you fact check that?
I'm
There's
looking- I'm
no
looking
chance
up.
some dude is staying married to her. I'm just guessing. I don't know. I could be wrong.
Hold on, Pat. She
guessing-
was married to Matt Hoffman from 2003 until they divorced in
Yeah.
2013.
Okay. Bingo.
She's
Because
got
nobody's
3
dealing with
kids.
Wow.
But listen, she went to Harvard.
She went to
She
Yale.
went to Yale.
That's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
She has gone after a lot of big business people. Okay. By the way, she is famous for going viral, for going after billionaires. So just so you know that, like, this isn't somebody that can't win. She could win.
Oh, she probably
but
will.
Piers Morgan put her in her place here when she was going up and arguing why Riley Gaines this. Rob, you just had the clip up. Riley Gaines this, Riley Gaines that. And then Piers Morgan is like, what are you talking about? What did Riley Gaines say that you disagree with? What did Riley Gaines say that you have a problem with? And then she's like, Riley, this is a victory for Pierce Morgan on Bill Maher. Go ahead, Rob.
To have a civil debate. Nobody, including Riley Gaines, who I disagree with strongly, should feel
What do you disagree with out of interest?
Watch this.
I think that it should be up to sporting bodies to make the decisions about who and
what
how
has she
should
said
compete.
that's actually wrong?
I think that what she has done is try to turn this. We talked about people, using things to kind of get likes and get clicks.
That's not what she's doing.
It's not?
I've got no truck for Riley Gaines personally, but all I've seen her do is stand up for women's rights to fairness and equality.
But
She actually competed against Leah Thomas, and it was obviously unfair. Leah Thomas won one of the races in the NCAA championships by 50 seconds against a bunch of biological females who simply couldn't keep up. That cannot be right. It cannot be fair.
That is something that I think our sporting bodies should be dealing with. And by the way, Riley is speaking up for herself, and that is her prerogative, and I respect her free speech.
I think she's speaking up for pretty much every female athlete in the world.
Title IX in the early 70s was something that was it was a major event in feminism.
It took 10 years to get Title IX, ladies and gentlemen.
What are the chances of Katie Porter actually winning and becoming a governor of California?
If she's the Democratic nominee, because of the way that the registered voters are and what they appear to be showing, it's about 85%, 90% right now, because she's probably going to be the Democrat nominee. Wow. And then from there, you just look at the voting. And by the way, I think it's close. I think the Republican candidate crosses 40, which would be unusual. But I would see, what if you see like a 57-41-3, because Green Libertarian? Mm-hmm. You see something like that, suddenly you realize that there's a shift. California, I got so many people I love up there and things that I love up there, and I remember what I love. I grew up at that. There's such history, and I'm just so disgusted by what has happened, and so are all the people that I know and love. But I feel like, is it possible the pain hasn't gotten tough enough for Californians to finally look at the leadership and the brand of leadership? Look past the people. Look at the brand of leadership and look at what you're getting out of it and what's happening. Forget the people. Just say to yourself, are we better off than we were 8 years ago? If not, why? Look at policy. Look at things. Look at the economy. Look at the high-speed rail that you can't see because it's not there. Look at all that. Take people out of it. Don't those voters see enough in that to say, wow, maybe something else should be there? But if she's a Democrat nominee, I'm on record, 56, 41, and 3.
Vinny.
Well, I'm happy that you guys get to see. And again, Californians, like, for the love of God, please start paying attention, because these are the people that are going to run your state and keep it running like a runaway train that's going to go nowhere, okay? And this is another clip I want everybody to see, Pat. It's a 2022, I think she was on, it's MSNBC, right?
Great dimples.
Great, amazing. Like, she's so happy. The fact they're comparing, the interviewers comparing Bidenflation with abortion, and you're not going to believe that. She goes, it's not comparing. She pushes them together, basically saying, because of groceries and everything are bad, we need to have abortions, because if you can't afford it, you could kill the baby. I'm not even joking. Play that. This is what she's trying to say.
President Biden has said that inflation is the #1 priority for the Biden White House to try to get under control right now. As you're out there in California talking to constituents during this re-election year for Congress, how does inflation compare to this newly important, in the sense of the Supreme Court decision pending, abortion issue? How do those two issues compare?
Watch this, not compare.
Well, I don't think they compare. I think they actually reinforce each other. So the fact that things like inflation can happen and it can become more expensive to feed your kids and to fuel your car.
Have an abortion.
Is exactly why people need to be able to be in charge of how many mouths they're going to have to feed. So I think the fact that we're seeing this jump in expenses.
Am I taking crazy pills?
That we're seeing people having to pay more in the grocery
store,
store, pay more at the pump.
Can you stop it? Guys, you understand that? She's saying, guys, listen, and this is during Biden, right? She's like, groceries are going to be expensive, so if you're pregnant, that should be a reason for you to kill the baby in your stomach. And this is just, I want to show where leftist brains are at. Trump just won the election at 2024. Listen to what she says about her 12-year-old daughter and why she was crying and who taught her this. Go ahead, Rob. Listen to this.
On election night, I went to pick up my daughter from water polo practice, and she's 12, and she got in the car and she was crying. And I said, did someone punch you? Like, water polo's a rough sport.
Somebody hit you?
I was like, did someone hit you? Did the coach yell at you?
Listen
What
to this.
happened? And she said, Mom, Trump won. Trump's going to win. And what if I get raped and I need to have an abortion? This is from a 12-year-old, my 12-year-old daughter. And so it was really a reminder of how scary this time is for people.
So who
This
is pumping your kid?
manipulation at the
Is that
highest
nuts?
level, man.
Hang on.
Who's teaching your kid that if I want to be able to have an abortion, my body, my choice? That is who this
What are the
person-
odds of fabrication in that story?
No, zero.
90%.
Like, she's telling the truth, meaning.
No. He's saying, what are the chances she's lying
making
and
it
that
up,
never
you're saying?
happened?
And we don't know. We can't say.
My speculation is 90%.
I'm right there with you.
Oh, you guys
My
saying like she's
speculation
lying.
is she's using
Oh,
this.
got you.
But you, by the way, you may say 90% is true,
Yeah.
and it could have happened, but that's because of her.
Oh, yeah,
But
yeah.
either way,
What is she putting in her kid's head?
12-year-old kid says, if I get raped and I want to get an abortion, if a 12-year-old kid says that, it's the mom's fault.
100%.
Period. If a 12-year-old kid says that. Adam, your thoughts on this?
All right, so the future governor of California, Katie Porter. So they have the mayor of LA, Karen Bass, and she's potentially going to be the next governor, Karen. So we've all seen those viral videos of Karen just complaining, and it's a Karen, it's a Karen, it's a Karen. This woman is the definition of a Karen. Just complaining, argumentative, just obnoxious, loud, and then playing the victim. That's what it comes down to. This is the modern Democratic Party, which is unfortunately, and I hope they can get out of this mess. You have a situation on Bill Maher, I believe, where a man named Pierce Morgan is defending a woman named Riley Gaines against a female woman, I think, potential governor, who's defending a trans woman. This is the Democratic Party. A man is defending a woman who's basically saying, yeah, she doesn't want to compete against Leah Thomas, men in the swimming pool. And the governor of potential governor of California is like, no, I stand with the trans woman. Like, we're in backwards world over here. They need to get back to doing what the Democratic Party used to be about. It has no clue what it is at this point. Cost of living, inflation, rent, paying your bills, how much health insurance costs. Unfortunately, they're so focused on DEI and woke and trans stuff, they forget about to follow the money.
But let me ask you a question, Adam. Like, let's really try, just really, really quick. There's no hope, meaning they're not changing gears at all. They are doubling down. They are not stopping. And by the way, I'm happy because that makes common sense going to stay in the White House and all the House and the Senate and everything. Adam, what needs to happen for these people to understand you guys have to change the game plan? Literally nothing is working. Zero. And when I ask people, not you, I'm saying I ask Democrats, what do you guys stand for? How many podcasts have we been on where we say, what do you stand for? What is the vision? Who are your leaders? It's nothing, bro. And what scares me is once they're realizing this and they're like, oh, we have nobody, we have nothing, you know what they resort to? Rioting in the streets, fighting in the streets, fighting ICE, fighting an Antifa. Because listen, there's nothing else. You see how angry people get when they have nothing to argue? You saw it, Tom. She lashed out, putting her hands, that body language, because you don't have an argument. And when you don't have an argument, you lead the violence.
Controlling the media. They're used to briefing with the media. The media is their lapdog. The media sets up the interview. And when somebody in the media has the temerity to actually conduct a regular thing, then it's there. I think we should play into the lunacy.
Okay.
Well, they want abortion at 24 weeks. I want 900 weeks. 900 weeks would be 75 years old. And then I could go after Schumer. Play into the lunacy. Yeah. Play into it. Play it out. Yeah. Let's play it out. How long? How far do you want abortion? I want 900 weeks.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
I appreciate that. You asked, how can they reverse this? How can they change this?
If you're in charge of the Democrat, if you're the leader, let's say it's Hillary, what do you tell them? Like, guys, we have to check. What do you do?
Until they lose in California, they're not going to change the message.
So the only way that they're going to change is when they hit rock bottom.
This is
because
it.
just like if it's an alcoholic, just like if somebody needs to go to rehab, it's like, buddy, we need to talk.
But isn't
We
this-
got to check you into rehab.
Aren't they
But
there?
well, there's a big difference between California and the rest of the country. California can still double down on the nonsense because, as she said in the beginning part of the interview, she's like, I got 60%. This other 40% nonsense, I'm not even worried about. There's 40% Republicans. I got 60.
And refuse
she doesn't
to
have
admit
to.
it.
She doesn't even have to like compromise. But in a general election, or during midterms, or if you're in a swing state, you better wake up, or you're going to be just doubling down on nonsense like this. So I wouldn't use California as sort of like a canary in the coal mine of what the Democratic Party is going to be. You got to watch what they're going to do in sort of swing states.
By the way, she is the leading candidate.
She's in that.
I just looked it up. She is the leading candidate.
Governor
She's
Karen.
number one. Okay. She's currently polling strongest in early surveys. Number two is Javier Becerra. He's the former U.S. Secretary of Health and Human Services and former Attorney General of California. Brings deep institutional experience and statewide profile. Rob, if you want to pull him up, Javier Becerra.
Who's a Republican that's going against
Antonio Villagrosa.
Oh, okay.
And then Tony Thurmond. And then you have Betty Lee. She was a former California controller. She has announced a campaign.
Okay.
And Stephen Klubeck. He's a businessman, founder of Diamond Resorts. Less of a political veteran, but seen in the mixed.
Is Rick Caruso running or Nicole Shanahan?
He most
either?
likely will be. He
On the other
most
side.
likely will be. Yeah, you've seen this face. He wrote a business book. I think he just mailed his book to me. Yeah,
Really?
Mateo. Yeah, I just got his book. Can you pull up his book? Yeah, they just sent his book to my office. Yeah, right there. They just sent a book to my office.
Nice.
This guy's a money guy. He's made real money. And so he may be running on the left side. Rob, can you check who's running on the conservative side? Who will be running on the Republican side for California?
I feel like anyone who's running has to run as a Democrat because once they have that R next to their name, it's like, you lost. They don't even need to put the name there.
Yeah.
Like Larry Elder would have done such a more of an amazing job as Gavin Newsom, but because he had an R next to his name, they're like, you're a racist. He's like, I'm black. Like
Chad Bianco, Riverside County Sheriff. We know him. And Steve Hilton. I was talking to Steve, if you remember, at Turning Point USA, front row. The guy came in. We started, good-looking guy. Steve
big
Hilton.
guy?
No. He's
Okay,
not.
gotcha.
Yeah. But we'll see. We'll see what's going on.
Oh,
California, we will be praying for you, is what we'll do. We'll be praying for you. But remember, never leave the state.
Stay.
You're under arrest. You
I have
cannot leave, folks. You have to stay. Adam, go
I'm
ahead.
just going to make a quick confession. I'm not praying for California. I don't care. I live in Florida. I love Florida. I love Miami. I love Fort Lauderdale. This is where I'm at. The Armenian people are coming to take over Boca. California, best of luck. Good luck out there. I'm not praying for you. These guys may,
I'm definitely
not me.
because they need to wake
Yeah.
up.
Well, it is what it is, man.
Maybe the government shutdown with no air traffic control Burbank is a good thing.
Yeah.
They can't escape.
They can't escape. All right, let's go to the next one. Communities will not survive, okay? Insurance nightmares could empty small California towns. Listen, California, I know it feels like you woke up today, you're like, what the hell? First two stories? Give us a break. We haven't done California stories in a minute, so we're going to give you guys some love.
But at least they got the Dodgers winning, you know?
That's right.
Tom?
But you know what? They didn't win the way I wanted them to win.
What happened?
Really?
I wanted them to win. It was, there's better ways of winning.
Okay.
But you know what? I'm going to accept the victory,
Yeah.
but I wish it
But
would
why
have
are you
won in a
bringing that
different
up,
way.
though?
I don't want to bring it up. I'm in a bad mood right now when it
Well,
comes
at
down to
least
that.
good news is LeBron's out a couple weeks. before the start of the season.
Congratulations
LA.
to the Dodgers for advancing. We will celebrate for you. You have to realize, the number one team I root for is who? When they're in.
Yankees.
The Yankees.
Obviously.
Number two team I root for is the Dodgers.
Of course.
I want them to win.
They're
So
from
I'm rooting
Brooklyn.
for the Dodgers to win the World Series. All right, so next, let's see what we got here. Boom, 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 boom. Communities will not survive. Mount Shasta. Resident Donna Alt and her family are among the nearly 11% of Siskiyou County households on the California Fair Plan, a fire-only insurance policy no homeowner wants to turn to. Living in the home her father built in 1965 and later passed down to her, Alt faces the looming threat of cancellation that could leave her family home uninsured and at risk. This is the reality for many residents and business owners living in California's rural, high fire risk areas where costly insurance rates are forcing homeowners who own their property outright to forego insurance altogether. Alt's problems with Fair Plan or insurance of last resort as it's often called, began December 26, 2023, when she received a notice warning her to replace her roof and remove debris from the property. Otherwise, her policy would be suspended in 60 days. Despite not making any repairs or responding to the letter, Alt soon received a renewal notice. For the time being, she was safe. But then she received another letter in September 2024 stating that if they did not receive proof of a roof repair within 30 days, Alt would face a surcharge and cancellation of her dwelling replacement coverage. This time, Alt appealed the notice, arguing there are no leaks, no reason for a new roof. She waited for a response from Fair Plan but received no correspondence. Her coverage continued sans surcharge. Tom, thoughts on the story?
So there's two angles here. Now let's take the consumer angle. Consumers are facing this from insurance underwriters that are using drones to survey neighborhoods where there could be fire areas. Now, why are the insurance companies doing this more rapidly? How does the fire get to the neighborhood? Well, the fire gets to the neighborhood from the areas that surround it. Well, what's going on in the areas that surround it? California is not doing good forest management. So what happens, Vinny, think about this. So California, think of it as a donut. You live in the hole. And around you, California doesn't do particularly good forestry management. The insurance companies, you go to California, they could speak to them until they're blue in the face saying, you know, you need to trim your forest more because these wildfires, and we're the insurance companies and we have to pay for it when bad things happen. And then California says, F you, we've got the insurance commissioner here. You work for us. We don't work for you. Screw you. Basically, I'm translating the letter. Now, people live in the center of the donut hole. And so they use drones and they go up there. And this is where the insurance companies are right. Hey, Vinny, you have a 35-year-old wood cedar shake roof, which is very common in California, especially at Mount Shasta area, some older homes up there. We'd like you to change it to something that's either asphalt shingles or tile, whatever you want. You don't have to spend the most expensive stuff, but we like you to have a different roof on it because it's been 35 years and your roof's at risk because guess what? You're living in a fire zone where the state isn't taking as good of care of it. So we need to make sure against losses that we do this. So what happens is then people that are living in this on fixed income, maybe they don't have 25 grand or more for the roof. And they say, well, my roof's not leaking. Well, that's maybe true, but you may not be insurable. So the bad news for the people that live up there is California forestry management can mean you're in a fire zone. And so your insurance company is going to be a little tougher on you about your house. However, the insurance company is right that as some of the people up in these areas, you do need to trim your own trees and your own areas on your own property. And guess what? The cost of owning a house is every now and then you got to replace a water heater. Every now and then you have to replace the pool pump. Every now and then you have to work on the sprinklers. And it costs money to do these things, right? Yep. Well, guess what? Roof is very expensive, but it's on a house that you own. So I see that part of it in a small way for the insurance companies. However, who's at the middle of this? It's California Insurance Commission managing on the insurance companies, and it's California having poor forestry management coming together, and then suddenly the only choice you have is to get this horrible insurance, the last resort California Fair Plan, which doesn't cover you very well. So this is a just a three-sided pinch on consumers. However, you do have to take care of your house and you do have to do maintenance. And over time, a roof may be expensive, but it's a prudent thing to do. So it sucks, but who's at the center of it? California. And who's not really supporting the citizen in all of it? California.
Weird.
That was a great breakdown. Tom, I want to test your knowledge real quick. You ready?
Go.
Fill in the blank. Just have some fun. If I say the roof is on fire.
We don't need Newsom. Burn the mother. Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
Way to go.
Yeah,
I actually appreciate that.
Was that the song? I'm trying to remember.
Tom, you just got major cool points with me.
Holy
Listen,
moly.
Tom, we all know that we didn't start the fire. It was always burning since the world's been turning. That's all I know.
Well, but actually, we do know who started the fire, though, because they arrested a 29-year-old guy
that's what I heard.
named Jonathan Rinkerneck. He's responsible for starting the fires, and he killed 12 people. But go ahead.
No, keep going until they found the guy who did all the fires.
Yeah, that's the guy. Look at and you'll never guess who he's a supporter of. By the way, why they make him look like Jesus on the right and he looks like a maniac on the left? These artists.
And
anyway.
what's his story? What's his deal?
Adam, he just hates people. I guess, and just loves fires. But I don't want to kick
Is he a
off.
pyromaniac? I'm trying to understand.
Well, there's
who
a
this
lot.
guy is.
There's a lot about him. But
And he did the Palisades fire. Which fire?
started
did
the
this guy do?
Palisades fires that killed
He
12
didn't
12
start the
people
fire.
and destroyed God knows how many.
And how did he start the fire?
With a match, a lighter. But anyway, just go. He has
Intentionally.
mental
No, that's what I'm
disorders.
asking.
But go ahead.
All right. Well, they caught him. That's
There
great.
was a guy running from the scene that they had camera film on.
Yeah, I remember that
People
guy.
had cameras that
Okay,
showed a
you
guy.
have an
Yeah,
opinion
sorry.
on this story.
Back to the
no,
riff-raff?
Again,
Okay, sounds
you know
good.
where I
Let's
stand
move on
about
to the
California.
next
Do you have an
story.
opinion on this one, Pat?
Yeah, let's move on to the next story here on what's going on with this. I can't tell you, Tom, if homeowners get forced to only use Fair Plan because they can't afford the other insurance, 7% of deals, real estate deals in California, are not closing when people are trying to buy a house because the homeowner realizes how much the cost of insurance is going to be on the house, and they're like, dude, I can't afford this. That's how much it's going to cost? Yes. Forget it. We're out. So imagine you went all the way down. You looked at 20 homes. You went with the realtor. You walked. You went and got a pre-approved letter. You got your loan approved by the bank. You went and did the appraisal. You went and did your escrow. You did everything up until then. You need a homeowner insurance policy.
Jeez.
And then you get the homeowner insurance policy from different companies, and you talk to your wife and say, babe, we can't afford it.
Or
And
worse, you
stop.
buy a $4 million home. No one will give you insurance from the regular State
And
Farm.
you're living in a house without any insurance.
And the Fair Plan says it only covers 2.6.
That's right. So 1.4 million, you're out.
So, Pat, let's say when you get your loan, you have insurance on the house. If you can't pay anymore, what happens to the bank and you just have a house with no insurance?
If you've got a mortgage, the bank's going to say, you need to pay down this mortgage because I'm only going to give you a mortgage up to your level of insurance.
So, but what I'm saying is, what if I'm in the house
So
and we
imagine
have
who this hurts. It hurts the realtor.
Oh, of course.
It hurts the realtor. It hurts the homeowner.
Yep.
It doesn't help. It doesn't hurt the buyer gets hurt if they can't afford to buy a house of the price because the homeowner's insurance.
Fewer choices now.
It's a very, very messy. And by the way, insurance companies are leaving. They're like, screw this. It's not even worth it. I'm out. So why would I stay here? And more and more are going to be leaving the state. All of this happened under one guy as their governor, and that's Gavin Newsom. And by the way, California, I just looked up. Do you guys remember Mayor Villagrosa?
Yeah.
Remember Mayor Villagrosa, Tom?
Yeah, he's the big smile with the
He
extra
was the
teeth.
mayor of L.A. Don't look at the screen. Don't look at the screen. Just stay on that page, Rob. Whatever page you were on, I'm fine with. Tom, I said, don't look at the screen. He's looking at the screen. Okay, question for you. How many Twitter followers do you think Mayor Villagrosa has? Katie Porter has 1 million. And another account with 500,000. How many? He's been around for a while.
45,000.
Well, it's either going to surprise me
Small.
big
But
or
what do you-
small
what do
because
you
this
think it
guy,
is?
this guy was a media
Massive.
230,000.
He was a media whore.
So what do you think it is?
10,000.
No,
What
it's
do you
more.
think it is?
200,000.
What do you think it is, Tom?
I think he's probably got 2.5, 3 million.
2.5, 3 million. Can you pull him up, Rob? That's his account.
What the hell?
That's his official account.
I win.
This is crazy.
He's got 819. By the way, I looked multiple times to see if this is the account.
That's
him.
He's a proven
Okay?
problem
This
solver.
guy-
is the account. He's only got 819 followers. Do you know what this means? That means most likely Katie's the governor of
man.
California.
But do you remember this guy when we were in L.A.?
Yeah, of
This
course I
guy
do.
never met a camera he didn't like. He would hear a clicking sound, run into a synagogue, and throw a thumbs up during a bris. I mean, he was everywhere.
Yeah.
If there was a camera clicking, he was with
So
this
you know what
big
it means, though?
smile. And
It
these-
means most likely, she's winning. And
Good
she's
job,
gonna be the governor
Cali.
of
California,
I mean,
let's
do you
go.
think she'll be way worse than Gavin Newsom? Like, how much worse could it
Yes.
get under Newsom?
I think, you know why
You
I
think she'll do worse?
You know why I think she'll be way worse?
Tell me.
Because she's a woman. That's why I think she'll be way worse.
Whoa.
Absolutely.
Whoa.
100%.
Tell me why.
Because no matter how much Gavin plays to women and all this other stuff, Gavin is a man. And Gavin is
Allegedly.
Gavin understands, like, when he sat down and talked to Charlie Kirk, he's like, yeah, we messed up. He'll admit to it. This is a female liberal leftist, full on with all the LGBTQ
Forget it. Yep.
transgender kids.
Over.
She is going to go and go so far to the. I think she's going to be worse than Gavin Newsom.
Wow.
Than
That's a
Katie
shocking
Porter.
statement.
So
prototypical angry
Looney
middle-aged
Tunes.
woman.
yeah. Anyways, we'll see what's going to. By the
Wow.
way,
We love you, ladies.
We'd love
Just
to
to be
have her on the
clear.
podcast.
Oh,
she
please.
would
Bring her
never,
on over.
ever show up. they would want a list of every single question to send to her with a teleprompter to answer the questions.
She'd be like,
she would
Patrick,
never show up.
But
How do you
the
think she would,
invitation's out, right? We talked to everybody.
Are you kidding
the
me?
The invitation's out.
I would put money
this
in.
is there's only one podcast in the world that interviewed Netanyahu and Nick Fuentes within 30 days, and it's this podcast. There's only one podcast. 1 minute, I was funded by Mossad. The other minute, I'm funded by Qatar. It was awesome.
Yeah.
The messages I was getting. Right?
So in other words, you're rich.
Do you think this lady Katie Porter would be worse than Kamala Harris?
I think so because she's more competent than Kamala Harris. Like she can actually get things done.
Oh, so you think Kamala would be
was an
worse?
actor? No. She would be worse because she's a doer. Kamala's a talker.
Yeah.
Kamala's a talker. She's a doer. She actually
more
would
like a slurrer,
pass things up. She would actually pass policies.
Yep.
She is truly.
You're saying she's such a better politician that'll do a worse job for California?
No. I don't think you understand what I'm saying. So I think if somebody right now offered her job $10 million a year, I don't think she takes the job. I've met people like this. They're not about money. They're driven by controlling you.
Wow.
They're driven by controlling and telling you what to do. They're not driven by freedom. They're driven by control. You can see it in her eyes. Yeah. You can see in the way she does things. She's a true believer in her cause. Kamala's an actress. She's a real true believer. My opinion. Let me get to the next one here. Let's talk about Israel. All right, so Trump's Gaza peace plan wins unexpected praise from MSNBC panelists. Rob, can we first go through, Trump says first phase of Gaza peace plan has been signed. Is that the one from MSNBC, from NBC, Rob? Let me go to that one. And if you can pull up the clip, there's a clip of a bunch of people saying good things about him. Okay, here's Trump. Go ahead and play this, Rob.
You said that you might go to the Middle East on Sunday. Do you mean Egypt and Israel? And would you consider going to Gaza to see what things are on the ground?
I would. I might do that. I may do that. We haven't decided exactly. I'll be going to Egypt most likely. That's where everybody is gathered right now, and we appreciate that very much. But I'll be making the rounds, as the expression goes. I probably will.
Okay, so what was the point of this video, Rob?
That's Trump announcing that he is going to Egypt for the signing. And then I also do have MSNBC as well.
Go ahead and play the MSNBC one, where it's like they're giving him a lot of love.
The deal that President Trump is announcing, played a key part in negotiating, is a significant change. This war was blocked for 2 years. President Biden, who preceded him, was unable to find a way to stop it. President Trump found that way by being tough on both sides, and he'll take a victory lap for sure over the next few days. But it's deserved. There's no way.
Go back so I can read that tweet,
that
please. You know they really don't want to be able to say that. I'm very proud to announce that Israel and Hamas have both signed off on the first phase of the peace plan. This means that all of the hostages will be released very soon, and Israel will withdraw their troops to an agreed-upon line as the first steps towards a strong, durable, and everlasting peace. All parties will be treated fairly. This is a great day for the Arab and the Muslim world, Israel, all surrounding nations, and the United States of America. And we thank the mediators from Qatar, Egypt, and Turkey who worked with us to make this historic and unprecedented event happen. Blessed are the peacemakers, Donald J. Trump. And by the way, because of this, everybody on the left was saying how monumental this was, but they gave the Nobel Prize to Maria Corina Machado. So, Adam, as you're hearing all these, everything that's going on with Israel and Gaza and what the peace plan President Trump just put together, what are you thinking?
Well, number one, Trump is calling the shots. Nobody else. It's not anyone else other than Trump. And nobody but Trump could go meet with literally the entire Middle East and Israel and goes, I'm running the show here. I need everybody on board. I don't know if you guys know this is about Trump. I don't know if anything's even been official yet. Trump is doing like supposition diplomacy. He's like, listen, guys, we're 90% there. I'm announcing that this deal is done. You guys do the remaining pieces. Do you understand what I'm saying?
No, yeah.
Like, there's nothing official. He's like, peace deal's done. Don't make me come over there and put you over my knee. Qatar, Israel, Turkey, Hamas. So the X factor in this equation is obviously Hamas. All these other countries.
X factor is Hamas?
Yes.
Okay, tell me why.
Well, they're the only non-state actor. So Turkey, he met with Erdogan.
Mm-hmm.
Qatar, he met with the Sultan of Qatar, whatever it is. Obviously, he's been meeting with Bibi. We understand what's going on there.
Egypt.
Egypt is there, Al-Sisi. But Qatar is a linchpin. I'm sorry, Hamas is the linchpin. We can't control them. It's like saying, hey, we're going to go negotiate ISIS in Iraq or with Hezbollah in Lebanon or Al-Qaeda in Syria. Well, they're actually in Syria right now. Boko Haram. Like, this is a full-on terrorist group. And, you know, I have friends who are Israelis. I have friends that are even Muslim and Arab. Israelis, I can tell you this. They are so done with war. If you ask any Israeli, they want to be done with this frickin' war and they want their hostages home. I think Hamas is not done with war. It's kind of their job. It's kind of their living. This is what they do. And then you have the Palestinians just sort of stuck in the middle of this entire charade here. And did you know that the first part of the peace deal, it's the hostage exchange? That's the number one thing. Just a little fun fact. There's 48 total hostages. 20 are alive. So 48 bodies, 20 are alive. Do you know how much they're swapping for? They're swapping hostages for, I think it's 1,700 prisoners and I think 250 of them are serving life sentences for bombing, for terrorists, for murder. Do you understand that is the equivalent of this? Hear me out. The bank robbers rob the bank. They hold the tellers and the customers hostage, and we're acting like, all right, guys, we'll let them go if we can go free. The bank robbers, they're the bad guys. So what's happening here is that Israel is willing to make a deal with the devil, and I mean that literally because this has happened before. I've talked about this before. In 2006, there was a prisoner exchange where they let one IDF soldier was kidnapped. His name was Gilad Shalit. If you want to understand how Israel rolls, and Hamas knows this, they exchanged him for not 100, for not 500, for over 1,000 prisoners, and 200 were serving life sentences, like murderers. And one of those guys, fast forward, ended up being a guy called Yahya Sinwar.
Why would they do that?
Because that's how much they care about their people. That's literally it. They're saying, we want our guy back. This is why people go and serve in the IDF. Because they say, I have to do this for 2 years. I think men, it's a little bit longer. They're saying, God forbid you are ever held hostage. We're going to get you.
Even if
so understand the reason that they're holding out for these hostages.
Yeah.
There's a track record here. 1,000 prisoners. And the guy that they let out 20 years ago.
1,000 Hamas people?
Yes.
So they're willing to give back
Yeah,
terrorists
go back to the
terrorist
ChatGPT,
stuff?
Rob.
And
You just have
Yahya
to read this.
Sinwar
Go back
was
what
the
you just searched.
mastermind
Let me
of
just read
October
this to you.
7th.
A ceasefire into effect October 10th. Under these terms, Israel has begun partial troop withdrawal from sectors of Gaza, pulling back behind an agreed deployment line. Hamas is to release 20 Israeli hostages within 72 hours, after which Israel will free 250 long-term Palestinian prisoners plus 1,700 detained. Vinny.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's what. Because,
Do you understand one thing?
that's
a
why
hostage
I saw
is
his,
a pawn of terror,
Yeah.
and a prisoner is a product of justice.
Yeah.
It's not an even
So it's going to
swap.
continue.
Yeah, that's exactly, dude. I saw his face
Bingo.
live change to you're gonna. And by the way, my heart, I pray
short-term
for
appeasement.
I pray
That's
for
what's
the
happening.
hostages. Like God knows that I pray for them. But you're gonna release 1,700 people that guess what want to do the same thing that Hamas. Like,
Why
let's say a
would you
good
do
chunk
that?
of them
Well,
are doing it.
Can you ask why? What is their argument of why?
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Because they're willing.
I understand,
Hear
but
me
Adam,
out.
is it
Hear
worth
me-
20
let me answer
people
the
to
question.
release? If, like, in your eyes, more terrorists?
Obviously, they believe
bring them,
so.
have them come back.
So it's short-term appeasement. Let's end the war. There's a victory. You know, Bibi Netanyahu could say, "Congrats, we got our hostages home," but they know that something's coming around the corner.
Yeah, but
this was in 2000. I think 6 was the Gilad Shalit 1 to 1,000 exchange. So now it's 18 years later, and they're revisiting this again, if not longer. And they're just basically saying, all right, when's the next time this is going to happen? And they're hoping, fingers crossed, that they can actually demilitarize Gaza, indoctrinate Gaza, and basically get a long-standing peace deal. But if Hamas is still there, I mean, bets are off the table.
You just made my brain go. Well, first of all,
yes. Welcome to the Middle East, buddy.
I'm gonna go back a little bit.
Yeah, welcome.
And the fact that Donald Trump didn't get the Nobel Peace Prize because you brought it up. Obama got it 8.5 months into his office, and guess what he did? Nothing. Zero. Okay, they said that what was it for? It was for extraordinary efforts to strengthen international diplomacy and cooperation between two peoples. Nothing happened. Okay, the award was based on hope and symbolism. Okay, and then Adam, you made a really good point. I do think because a lot of people are like, oh, BB's in control, and have you ever? Donald Trump has been yelling at this guy. How many times has there been reports where he's yelling at him on the phone? He's yelling and saying, I don't know why you're being so effing negative. It's like this is Trump. So I do think at the end of the day, BB's doing his thing, but Trump is like, just hurry the F up and make this happen, okay? But I do have a couple of questions, Adam, which I'm so happy that Pat brought it up. And I get it. You want your people back, but is it worth releasing more terrorists in your eyes? And then, because what? Do you just want to keep terrorists around? It doesn't make sense to me. That's number one. Number two, once Hamas gives over these 20 hostages, God willing, what happens to those Hamas? How many Hamas are left right now? Is there a number? What happens to those guys? Do they go, okay, here are your hostages. Now, can we just stay in these tunnels? That's number one. And then number two, my question is, with all that's happening, all the peace, the war, ceasefire, stopping, what happens to the 2 million displaced Palestinians that have scattered and they're all over the place? Trump and everybody's talking about with Jared Kushner and the Middle East building this like Gulf and high rises. Do those 2 million people get to come back to there's no homes? So is there going to be a deal to say, hey, listen, we can't really find out where your house is because it's all gone, but are we going to give them money? Like,
you think Hamas?
No, not Hamas. I'm talking about regular people.
That's my point.
I'm saying Hamas is gone.
No, well, Hamas is still running Gaza. This is
when they're gone.
This is the existential question. Ready, Vinny?
Yeah, go.
You think Hamas cares about people?
No, that's not my question.
No, but I'm saying,
no,
Hamas doesn't care about these people.
Well, I'm saying once
they're
Hamas
pawns in a jihadi game.
My question
that they're trying to eliminate Israel. They hate Israel.
Okay, but
more than they love their own people.
I know. I get that, but
just soak that in for a second.
I'm soaking.
That's the challenge.
No, but here's my question to you, Adam. You missed my point.
Yeah.
Hamas is dead. Let's say they kill all. No, but hear me out. Okay. Play along with me. Okay. They kill all of Hamas. Okay. Yeah. The 2 million Palestinians that have to leave, do they get to come back home? Because the plan is building this freaking epicenter of golf courses and high rises and freaking golf courses. Do these people get to come back?
Part of the plan, if that's what you're asking, is that the Gazans can still live in Gaza.
I hope so, because like all those people that left, you're hoping they get to come back. Where are they going to come? They're going to get to live in a high rise because their houses are all gone.
I mean, think about how long it's going to take to reconstruct Gaza.
Oh, forever.
They're going to be refugees forever, and this is exactly what Hamas wanted. I can't emphasize this enough. If Hamas wanted to stop this, they could have done a hostage exchange 2 years ago. If Qatar actually cared about any of this.
But these are terrorists, Adam. You don't negotiate with terrorists. How many times do we have to have this? You got to kill. Well, then why do we wait 2 years? You knew that. Kill them. Okay, well. Sorry. Go down there. I don't know how many times I have to say this.
I wish it was as simple as you're making it, Vinny.
Do you have any thoughts on this?
Not any deeper. I hear both angles going back and forth. That, first of all, it is very good that there's progress being made to stopping the live fighting and the live fire. Step one. Step two, get everybody in their opposite corners. Step three, the UN, the U.S., and remember, who is the chair, or I don't know what the proper title is, but who is leading what will be the, Adam, what's it called? The Gaza Commission or the Gaza Relief Commission? DJT. And then Tony Blair is going to be part of it. But yesterday, some people said, we don't think we like Tony. We don't want Tony. We don't want Tony Blair to be on it. No, I think the Gazans or somebody said, I don't think we like Tony Blair. But point is, Trump has got the signature. So now we got to go figure out what we do with these people. One step at a time. But first, let's get this war to stop. Yeah. And let's get the hostages back. And I do agree with one thing. I hate like hell that all of these people. And the reason they have life sentences is because they were captured and they were tried and they had done terrible bad things and they got a life sentence. And I hate like hell that these people are going back. But I love that it's a symbol that says that we value life. And here it comes. And here come all the comments saying, well, Israel doesn't value life. That's its own unequivocation. Yeah, go ahead and say it. The fact is, hostages are coming home, which is a good thing. The war is stopping, Pat, but there's a lot of work to do, and let's not hand wave over the 2 million Gazans or the peaceful Palestinians that are looking for a place to live and a place to be. Let's not forget all of those people there, but man, there are bad blueberries in that muffin, and we got to take care of that.
Pat, what do you think?
I don't know. To me, I used to have a guy that would always make temporary fixes. And finally I told him, I said, you know what's the difference between you and the other guys? He says, what? I said, they make permanent changes. You make temporary changes. How is this permanent? So when the revolution happened with Iran and Jimmy Carter was campaigning on human rights, that was his main thing. Mm-hmm. He was a human rights leader, right? And he forced 2 countries to release political prisoners. One of them was Mohammad Reza Shah Pahlavi. The other one was Cuba, okay? So Cuba finally is like, this guy's such an idiot. Let's send him let's release 125,000 prisoners, criminals, send them to Miami.
The Muriel boat lift.
They send him to Miami. Miami's unemployment rate goes up to 50% a year later, give or take. Jeez. There is no gas. There's no gas. Like there's an issue in Miami. And all of a sudden you see the movie Scarface comes out.
Yeah.
Dude, that is prompted by what Jimmy Carter did, right? Yep. So, and then in Iran, he forces the Shah to release 3,000 political prisoners. Many of those guys that were in there ended up becoming leaders of, Osama bin Laden, all these other guys. Yeah. I don't, this is a continuation of that. Now, it will tell you when you see this that, Megyn Kelly just tweeted something, Rob. If you can go to Megyn Kelly, she called that CNN. And it's so funny how quickly, you hear these things that even Megyn Kelly's very fair where she's at. She'll call out Israel. She'll call out this. She'll call out that. Zoom in right there. Look what she said. Check out the take, first paragraph, on how the war started. Great job, CNN. Go a little bit lower. See how 2 years of war, loss, and heartbreak has changed these Gaza Palestinians. Now look at the first sentence. Go a little lower. It's been 2 years since Israel launched its war in Gaza, and life in the enclave has never been harder. Yeah. They don't talk about what happened the other way around. So this is continuing. This division between the two is going to go for a while, and making somebody that's extremely fair, where she'll go criticize both sides. So it's not like she is a one-sided person. But to me, when I'm seeing this, I'm for Israel to give up 250 plus another, what was it, 1,700, 1,200? 1,700 for prisoners. 20 people? For 20 people? Listen, culturally, you meet certain people with certain cultures and you see what they value and what they don't value. Say what you say, man. They're telling you what they value here. Again, I went back and watched Charlie Kirk's interview, the first one that we did that happened right after October 7th. I think it was October 10th or 12th podcast. And he explains, he says, either when this took place, they did not expect it to be that bad, okay, where, hey, let's go back and get if they knew. It's not going to be that bad of a thing. Ended up being ugly, obviously, to what it is today. But for you to give up all of that, it's like when Biden gave up who is the broker of...
Was the Merchant of Death?
The Merchant of Death. For who?
For Brittany Griner.
Brittany Griner.
Who hates America.
Yeah. So that tells you the priority for for Biden.
Yeah.
Biden would rather have female WNBA basketball. By the way, yesterday I was watching a video about 7th graders and 8th graders playing WNBA players, and they destroyed them.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
They destroyed them. It's not even funny what it was like. It was embarrassing. Rob, can you go to Obama's tweet, please? Here's what Obama had to say. If you just go to my Twitter account, I just retweeted what he had to say.
Great.
It's so embarrassing what he says. Go to his...
doesn't even mention Trump by name, I believe, right?
If you just go to...
some guy who's went over to the Middle East.
Watch this here. So
anybody got a pack of Salem's?
Can you put show like what he says? After 2 years of unimaginable loss and suffering for Israeli families and people of Gaza, we should be encouraged and relieved that an end to the conflict is within sight, that those hostages still being held will be reunited with their families, and that vital aid can be inside Gaza, who is shattered. More than that, though, it now falls on Israelis and Palestinians with the support of U.S. and the entire world community to begin the hard task of rebuilding Gaza and commit to process by recognizing... Any name of Trump
Nothing.
there? Any name of current administration?
Zero.
Any shout out to the guy that came after you?
Or just say the U.S. brokered it.
Yeah, anything you can say that's somewhat good. 3 basic questions for you, sir. Who brokered this deal? Who became the peacemaker? Any chance you'll give him credit?
Never.
Why not?
Can't.
Don't forget the mic drop when he made fun of Trump, or that one dinner that he said, you'll never be president. Trump is sitting there just listening to him.
Yep.
You think they're still keeping that part in place? But Obama has an opportunity here to be a peacemaker and to kind of give credit. Cannot do it. He can't do that part, right? But having said that, respect to the president, respect to what he's doing. This started under Biden. Let's not forget.
That's true.
This started under Biden, and the peace happened under Trump. Adam.
Pat, can I just give you some stats real quick? By the way, Robbie, pull this up. By the way, you said, trading Brittany Griner for Dr. Death, I believe.
The Merchant of Death.
Or the Merchant of Death. It's Brittany Griner, in this case, for 1,000 Merchant of Deaths. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
Yes.
It's not like 1 for 1.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give an ode to the BizDoc, Words Talk Numbers Cream. I'm going to explain why the long-term lasting peace is going to be very difficult with Israel and Gaza and what's going on. And as I always say, follow the money. So remember the conversation that I had with Bassem Youssef? I said, there'll be peace when certain Muslim countries prioritize GDP rather than GDT, right? There's a big difference between Gulf countries and the other Arab countries that are surrounding Israel. So here you see what the GDP is per capita in different countries. So I'm just going to go real fast. Saudi Arabia is almost $33,000. Iran, $5,000 a year. Yemen, $465. Egypt, $3,500. That's Israel's neighbor. What is Israel's GDP per capita?
53.1. I got good eyes from
I think there's a list right there, Rob, if you can show that. This is the GDP per capita. So I go with me on this. You see Qatar is number 1. They're the big, rich oil country. Qatar, they're giving everybody the money. We understand that. We have Israel and the UAE and then Saudi. And then if you go all the way down the list, you'll see there's other countries. These are Israel's neighbors that are very, very poor. Egypt is next door. Jordan's next door. We see what's going on in Iran. Now, you might say, all right, how long has this been going on? Rob, there's 3 more graphs here. I want you to understand this is the challenge that they're going to have. Here's 1979, Pat. This is during the revolution that was in 79, right? So what was the richest country in the Middle East at that point? GDP per capita?
UAE.
It was the UAE. Then you have Qatar. Then you have Kuwait. You have Saudi. Israel is sort of in the bottom of the bunch with the rest of them. Okay, now let's fast forward. This is the impressive thing about Israel, and this is why so many people that are Israel's neighbors just genuinely hate them, is because they're hating on them. Within 20 years, 30 years, now UAE is still number 1, Qatar's number 2. Look where Israel is. Now, here's what I want you to pay attention to. Look at the bottom of the list. You have Yemen, you have Syria, now you have Palestine that shows up, Egypt, Jordan, Iran, poor countries, while the Gulf countries are rich. Now, fast forward to the most current thing. You still see Qatar there, you still see Israel there, you still see UAE there. Now, look at the bottom of the list. Syria, Lebanon, Palestine, Yemen. The Middle East will not change until these countries have something worth living for. They're poor. They're desolate. They read one book called the Quran. And if you're a 22-year-old guy in Lebanon or in Palestine or in any of these countries or in Iran, and there's indoctrination going on, what are you supposed to do? There's unemployment is all-time records. You don't have a job. There's nothing for you to do. You have no money. So Hamas shows up, Hezbollah shows up, ISIS shows up and says, let me give you some purpose. You notice that those people do not exist in Qatar. They don't exist in UAE. Follow the money. And you'll understand until those countries actually have something worth living for financially, they're always going to sort of be a race to the bottom. They say there's 2 ways to have the tallest building. You can either build a tall building or try to blow up the person's building right there. And that is that right there. Last point. We talk about the misery index and happiness. Here's
Adam,
a map.
You got to get to the next story, buddy. Like, what's the last thing you want to say?
Well, I just want to show you how happy people are in the Middle East.
Yeah.
If you can just see that happiness map. This is also a challenge. Like, you want to get to the bottom line here. I'm showing you the actual reasons why there's never going to be peace in the Middle East. Israel apparently is the happiest country in the Middle East. Afghanistan is the most miserable country in the world. In the world. Rob, can you punch in? Here's the craziest part. Palestine, 4.8. Israel's the highest at 7.2. Afghanistan is the lowest at 1 point something. There's countries that are lower than Palestine. Jordan is less happy than Palestine. Lebanon is less happy than Palestine. They're miserable people who want a better life. Yemen is desolate. So until these countries figure out how to make money, have an economy, and can be happy, there's never going to be peace.
By the way, remember when you were younger and about who you befriended, whoever had nothing to lose, parents were afraid of you befriending that kid. And whoever had a lot to lose, you always knew that kid would make different types of decisions, generally, even as adults. When you do business with, you're hanging out on the weekend with somebody, and one of your friends is like, yeah, let's just go and break in. You're like, I got a job, I got a house, I got a this. Nah, bro, you guys go ahead. I'm not doing this. Let's just go and break some. No. So there's a big point about, making sure the more people have things to live for, the better the decisions they make. The less people have things to live for, the worse decisions they make. You want people to have a certain level of community, ownership, they have something that's theirs, they have something that they're building. And unfortunately, in some of these places, you just don't have that. You just don't have that. All right, let's get to the next story here. Next story I'm going to get to is Eric Trump and Cuomo. So Eric Trump is on Cuomo's show. And Cuomo asks a question from Eric Trump, and Eric Trump just goes, lights out. So I'll let you watch this for yourself. Go ahead.
Do you think that it is fair to say it looks like the administration is going after its political opponents now and doing exactly what you say you oppose?
What, Comey? Because I mean, it seemed very clear to me in the congressional testimony. I don't know, just watching it, I certainly seemed like he lied to me. I mean, I'm also wondering what an FBI director is doing, taking memos from the FBI and leaking them to the New York Times. I mean, Chris, I'm a guy that hopes that the FBI director would be keeping planes from flying into buildings, keeping our country safe, keeping the Western way of life safe. Instead, this guy is, communicating every single day with the New York Times. I mean, I'd hope a lot better. But I find it so ironic that you're literally one that's pushing back on the weaponization of government when the very same people that were coming after us, went after your brother, like hounds. I mean, they did everything they could to destroy his governorship. They did everything they could to destroy his life. They did everything they could to destroy you. I sat in that same seat. The only difference is my last name wasn't Cuomo. My last name was Trump. They were trying to destroy my father. And by doing that, they were trying to destroy me, and they were trying to destroy the Trump organization. They were trying to take all our assets and strip our name off of every building in New York City. You've been on the receiving end of the very same people that I've been on the receiving end of. And so to play coy with me as if this isn't happening in the United States of America just seems ironic and foolish given what you've been through more so than anybody.
Hold on a second. What did you just say that you think I'm doing? I'm asking you questions about whether or not if something is wrong, it is also wrong to do the same thing when you get back in power, which certainly happened the first time the administration came in. You went right after Biden. And I don't mean you weren't part of the administration. I'll get to you in a second in terms of what's going on right now. But if you think I'm playing coy, you don't know me as well as you should.
Chris,
I'm not playing coy. I know what happened to me,
Chris,
Eric.
I'm
saying that
and it was
what is
horrible
happening now looks like what was done to you. That's why I'm asking the question.
Did we raid Biden's home? Did we try and bankrupt Biden? Did they come after us? Did we weaponize every AG and DA, against Biden? Did we do that against Hunter Biden, who had a laptop from hell, pictures of cocaine, illicit drug use, prostitution? Did we do that? Did we make up a dirty dossier about Biden? Did they try and destroy Biden's marriage? Was any of that true? I mean, did we make up stories that Biden had secret servers in the basement of his home communicating with the Kremlin in Russia? Did we strip Biden off the ballot of multiple states? Did we take Biden off of Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and try and silence his voice so he couldn't communicate? Did we put Biden in a courtroom every single day? 91 felony counts that have all been overturned for my father now, right? For nonsense, to try and keep him off of a campaign trail and to try and destroy his life. Did we do any of that?
That was an incredible breakdown by Eric Trump. You got to give him credit for that.
Thank you. Eric just literally, by the way, not like he planned it, because that's where he went, just systematically went down. There's zero comparison. There's zero comparison of what Trump, our attitude is, he's not going after more. I want more. There's a list with Brennan, with all of it, with Obama, all the Hillary, all the spying. He's not even doing a fraction of what he should, because it's legally. What's Letitia James, Pat? What's she in trouble for? For mortgage fraud?
Yes.
And Comey lied to Congress On top of everything else, okay? No, I think what Chris was trying to do, but Eric just completely put him exactly where he needed to put him and broke it down. Never in the history of this country has a party done that much or tried to do that much to one freaking person, to his entire family, to destroy him, and he still came out and he still won. So what he's trying to get at is absolutely ridiculous. He's like, because what Chris is trying to make the point is, well, you guys are going after your political opponents. No. He's going after the people that broke the law, period. What they tried to twist the law to go after Trump. He's going after these two for a good reason. I think Jack Smith is next.
Yeah, I think if you're Chris, it's kind of fair to ask the question. You said, what do you say to the people that say that or I don't want to misquote Chris, but I think it was, what do you say to people that say you're doing the same thing that they did to you?
Yeah.
And so Chris can ask that, but I think Eric answered it very, very well. And it was, I'll tell you what you tell them. All of our stuff has been overturned, and Comey broke the law, and Letitia James broke the law. They made Letitia James mortgage fraud on a 1 to 10. You may say that's a 4. And what Comey did, weaponizing the Justice Department, is an 8. You know, you could scale it like that. But the fact is, Chris, Eric answered it. This is what I say to them. All of our stuff's been overturned, and these people broke the law. Now they're in court. Welcome to America.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, this is the difference between MAGA 1.0 and MAGA 2.0. There's like Eric Trump, let's just use him as an example, and you can extrapolate how much more equipped Trump is to do the job. Per Eric Trump's words, when they got in the office in 2017, he was like a deer in headlights. They've never been in the White House. They've never been in politics. They don't know what's going on. They don't know who their allies are. They don't know enemies. They don't see this coming. They think the FBI's on their side. They don't know. Now he's like, bing, ding, bing, bing, bing. How much more capable, informed, politically savvy is Eric Trump at this point? And when we were on the podcast with him, we weren't like challenging him. It was a friendly conversation. Pat asked some tough questions. We asked some, but we didn't push him like Cuomo did. Wow, that defense that he gave about his father right there.
The family,
Eric Trump,
too. Yeah.
Respect to you. I mean, you
Eric
came all
is
the
as smart
receipts.
as he was
Let me
8
ask
years
you a question.
ago.
How is Chris looking at Eric? How does Chris look at Eric? So I have an idea of how Chris looks at Eric. How competitive do you think Chris is?
Chris is a pretty competitive guy.
How competitive you think?
Pretty damn
0 to
competitive.
10. What would you put him?
Chris is like a 9.
How competitive you think Eric is?
Oh, Eric's up there big time.
Yeah.
Eric doesn't
competitive
play,
guys.
Eric
9
doesn't
or
play
10.
games either.
Okay. I think they're both psycho competitors. Okay. I really believe that they're both psycho competitors. Chris looks at Eric, in my opinion, as a younger version of him, because the father, Mario Cuomo, then Andrew Cuomo, then Chris Cuomo, right?
Mm-hmm.
Chris Cuomo is either Don Jr. or Eric Trump.
Yeah, no, Chris would be like Eric. He's the younger brother.
But
You're right.
Chris looks at them as, hey, I'm senior to you. I've been going through this for a while. My father, I grew up as a kid watching my dad when they would call him Italian this, Italian that, and he remembers that, right? I'm kind of wondering how much of that Chris is sizing up Eric and seeing where he's at, because he's right. When he went after Andrew, he didn't say anything about it, because they did. They went after his brother. Okay, they targeted his brother in a hardcore way. Some of it well-deserved. Some of it was they couldn't control him. You know, when Schumer and Nancy couldn't control him, they're like, hey, get rid of this guy. Yep. We don't like this guy. He doesn't do what we tell him to do.
And part of that, they played really dirty.
By the way, you probably just saw the two families, the biggest political families, talking to each other. Yeah. Name me a family bigger than the Cuomo and the Trumps. Give me a family that's a multi-generational political. Yeah, maybe the Bushes.
Not as relevant now, though. You're right.
No, but I would actually put
Bushes.
I would definitely put Bushes as number one over Trump.
Oh yeah,
because no one's yet done anything outside of Don. Right?
Yeah.
At least Bushes, you had Prescott, Senator Prescott, George
Jr.
Bush Sr., then George W. Bush,
sure.
then Jeb became a governor. So they have a rich, but this is the top three families politically that just went at it. And I actually like that exchange. I like that exchange between the two of them.
You'll see more of that. By the way, is Gavin Newsom and Nancy Pelosi related?
Yes.
I think
they're related?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a family right there.
But it's not the related like this. I think it's like
the Pelosi's. You know what I mean?
How are they related?
He's connected to Pelosi through a past marriage. It's not the way you think. It's not. They're not blood relatives. It's slightly different.
Chris has to understand too. He's talking to a potential future president as well, and that's another thing. Because Chris Cuomo, as much as you want to say, he does not like Trump. I don't care. All these little moments of like the Bill Maher's and the Stephen A. Smith. Let's not forget their attitude towards Trump because he was the worst thing in the history. Now they're all kind of coming back over there. He's sitting with the guy that was wearing the Trump 2028 hat. That's not accidental. You know what I'm saying? So
and I think there's another thing too. Remember, they also went after Chris. And they went after Chris indirectly.
During Biden, right? Tom, it's all during Biden, FYI.
And in my opinion, and I don't want to get,
it's your opinion. You can have
get letters from people from Atlanta with 22 names at the top of the letter. But in my opinion, they went after Chris and they screwed Chris. Was there things going on? Was there things that Chris should have done differently? I can't judge. I'm not the judge of that. But I will say this. The system went after him, and he ultimately, left CNN, and in my view, they kind of screwed with him, and here he is now. Whereas they screwed with Eric, and he managed to fight all of it off.
That is a very fair assessment, Tom. That is a very fair assessment. Like, they couldn't destroy Eric, but they almost did to Chris, and then Chris made a comeback. I think his show is getting more and more viewership. It's doing better. I think it's at 175,000 viewers now. It's not a big number. It's not at the number that, you want to be. But, he almost went from being irrelevant and destroyed to he's made a resurgence. And I think you got to give him credit for that.
And he gave one of the most strongest cases against the uniparty when he spoke from the floor of the convention about how corrupt politics is.
We'll see what's going to happen there. We'll see what's going to happen. Let's go to the next one here. Let's go to the next one here. All right. Next story I want to get to is I don't feel safe anymore. Not me, folks. This is a story. Dearborn's Arab Americans on rising Islamophobia. Rob, if you want to pull this up on how they're feeling about what's happening in some places like Dearborn. I think this is on page 13. Rob, if you have a video, I don't think you have a video on it. No, you don't. Okay. So Amirah Shahran recalls it being a regular fall afternoon, October 2024. The Yemeni American who had been living in Dearborn and Detroit area for 4 years was preparing dinner while her mother took Amirah's 7-year-old daughter, Saida, to a nearby playground to play with her friends. But when the door of the home slammed open a little after 3 p.m., everything changed. Saida rushed in, holding a napkin against her neck. When Amida moved it away, she saw a long, deep cut across her daughter's neck. A man had approached her on the playground, grabbed her head, and slit her throat. What? With a knife. My mind flipped. I didn't know where I was. I mean, because my son was screaming, don't die, don't die. I didn't even know how to dial 911. Accused 73-year-old Gary Lansky, who lives near the park, was caught shortly afterwards and in January was found competent of child assault with intent to murder and other charges for a mom to see her daughter's throat open. It was terrifying, says Amir. He's a 73-year-old. How could he do that to a little child? Saida received 20 stitches and is scared mentally and physically. Most of her nights are still filled with nightmares. So, Tom, this story is about the levels of crime that is happening in Dearborn. Is that what she's talking about?
Yeah, specifically the Islamophobic attacks that are occurring in the area.
Which means what, Rob? Like they're attacking
people, Muslims specifically, for their faith in Dearborn.
How much, what are the numbers that you see with that? So let's see that one right there, Rob. The Islamophobic, that paragraph you had, attacks across the U.S. have risen presently in 2 years since Hamas's attack on Israel, which killed Atone and the soon destruction of Israel and Gaza. More than 67,000 people. Last year, Council of American Islamic recorded 8,658 complaints. Report of anti-Semitism have also searched and recent report released on Sunday found that more than half of American Jews say that they have faced anti-Semitism in the past year. Data's difficult. So wait, are they saying that they're being targeted?
Yeah, that's the point that I'm trying to figure out. Is this lady saying that her kid was stabbed in the neck by this guy because he wanted to go after them because they were Muslim? Like, how do you even, did he scream something like, go back to your country?
So first of all, it is horrible. Go ahead, Rob.
Down a little bit further, it starts to point out, last month, a mosque in a neighboring Dearborn Heights neighborhood received a call from a Texas man threatening to burn down Dearborn and its mosques. On September 23rd, a Virginia man was arraigned in court on terrorism charges for threatening on YouTube to attack a mosque in Dearborn. And then there was an incident in August in which a man was arrested for writing on social media that he wanted to see marchers at a Muslim religious event taking place in Dearborn be shot. So they're saying they're no longer feeling safe in Dearborn because of instances like this.
There's two sides to this. The first side is very, very clear. This little girl, regardless of her background,
denomination, nobody cares.
Cut.
Nobody wants to see that happen.
No, this is horrible. But and let's set that there. Now then, was it pure Islam? Was it an older gentleman who didn't like Arabs or Muslims, assumed she was Muslim, and then went to do this? If that's what happens, then that guy goes to
Rob,
prison.
what's the investigation say about this? Do you have data on?
I'm taking a look right now into Gary Lansky. He's a 73-year-old suspect.
I didn't see a conclusive thing.
Yeah,
or
like
that
that's
he had
like
confessed
exactly.
or anything was
Why would
sorted out.
Guardian write an article like this? If there is, let's know about it. So, was charged with self-intended murder and some different connections with alleged knife from 7-year-old. Why though?
But if it was a hate crime, there would be hate crime charges if they were targeting them specifically due to their religion.
It sounds like, Rob, like they're assuming because they're of the Muslim faith. I don't know, was she wearing a hijab and stuff like that? That's a weak story.
And by the way, CAIR, C-A-I-R, you can go look them up. They have been allegedly manipulating statistics about problems happening in their community. And there have been news outlets that have said, hey, are we sure these numbers are right?
You see
these are all allegations against each other, but you can't just take, in this case, don't take CAIR's word for it. Oh, there's been 8,678, Islamophobia threats against our people. Hang on. You got to be careful with that sort.
You see that? You see. So he was not officially charged, Gary Lansky. And then look at the second sentence: the victim's family, community groups, civil rights organizations have called for hate crime charges, arguing the attack might have been motivated. How about just crazy? Maybe the guy was just crazy to go stab a freaking child. There's something wrong with you. I'd see that's weak reporting. Might have been. That's like.
And the Guardian found 3 instances widely spaced. They are desperately trying to paint America as just laying in the weeds, ready to attack poor little Dearborn. And they're not even talking about, you can go look up Dearborn and go look up radical clerics, and clerics are saying horrible things, and they're all turning an eye the other way. And the police for 2 weeks had Muslim language on the badge for the police. They since pulled that off, as I understand it. But come on, guys. This is, and I'm speaking to the
Adam, your
Guardian.
thoughts on
This is so one-sided here.
It's weak.
None of this makes sense. I'll give you a quick breakdown. This whole story, whoever wrote this article with the Guardian deserves Donald Trump to just show up and be like, "You're fired. You're fake news." This whole story doesn't add up. You're telling me this. Some old white guy shows up in a Muslim majority city, Dearborn, and just is going out to do hate crimes because he's Islamophobic. How about just the very basics? Some old weird scumbag came in and tried to kidnap a kid or cut the kid's throat.
Maybe a crazy pedo.
Whatever it is. Yeah. This is the equivalent of saying, Compton, it's mostly black. Yeah, white racists are rolling up on Compton and trying to eliminate kids. That doesn't happen. White racists are rolling into Dearborn and in a Muslim area trying to threaten people. That's just not a thing. It's like, you ever see the Dave Chappelle skit when he reenacted the Jussie Smollett detective?
Yeah, of course.
Asking, so he's like, all right, so what do we got here? So you went for a walk at 4 a.m. in February. It's minus 10 degrees. Got it.
Yeah.
Because you're hungry. Got it.
A lot of snow.
And
white snow. That was white snow.
Tom. And then you got, 2 guys approach you with MAGA hats in Chicago at 4 a.m. Yeah, this whole story doesn't add up. And it turned out to be a farce. Sometimes stories are just clickbaity headlines with no substance. And they're trying to tie Islamophobia to this guy, whatever he did. Now, I'm not denying that Islamophobia exists, anti-Semitism exists. This seems like complete fake
but
news.
you know what?
Clickbait from the Guardian.
Yeah, but
how odd.
Do you know what the actual attitude from people that live in Dearborn and stuff are, Rob? Is this the one where they're saying America must fall? Is this the clip? Remember this one? Guy, just for people that are trying to figure out Dearborn, if you've been off the radar, go ahead, play this clip.
Victory. We haven't done anywhere near enough.
Boom.
And the people here, I promise you, we do feel ashamed. We do feel like we're not doing enough. We do feel like change needs to come because change must come. And in the form that it must come is that this empire, the American empire that's been hurting our people, since the beginning, the imperial Western powers that have been hurting our people since the beginning, they must fall. And
So
inshallah,
Inshallah,
they will fall. And my
Rob, and then the
message
next
to the
clip
people
had
of
this. So
Gaza-
that's
the beginning,
people in Dearborn
America
want
existed
America to
during the-
fall. Some crazy guy stabbed the kid, and I hope the kid's okay.
I didn't know America had been around for 2,000 years.
Yeah, weird. And then this guy,
Since the beginning.
This is in Dearborn saying "Death to America." Could you play this one, Rob?
We've been asked in the past,
Michigan activist.
why are our protests on the International Day of Quds, why are they so anti-America? Why don't we just focus more on Israel and not talk so much about America? Gaza has shown the entire world why these protests are so anti-America. Because it's the United States government that provides the funds for all of the atrocities that we just
They
heard
start
about.
chanting. Oh, you can
And this is why
you
Imam
can pause it,
Khomeini,
Rob,
who
'cause
declared
Imam
in this
Khomeini,
video,
he's giving a shout out to
listen to this. This is in Dearborn. Go ahead, Rob.
America.
That's in Michigan. Death to America. But my point is,
How are
and you're
these people
trying to,
not arrested
and you're
on
trying,
domestic terrorists?
but you can pause it up. And so for them to report a story of a poor kid getting stabbed and saying it might be is a BS
This is
lazy
the one
story.
part. This is the one part that we have a leak in the Constitution that if there's going to be anything that takes this great country down, it'll be this. Play this clip, Rob. This is New York City, by the way. Go ahead. This is New York City. Okay. All right. So you can pause it right there. Now go do this in Yemen. Go do this in Jordan. Go do this in Iran. Go do this bring thousands of Christians outside and pray and see what happens. Go out and do that. See what takes place there.
Good luck.
So this is the part where in America, if there is a thing long term that destroys America from within, it'll be because of this. And Christians being too tolerant of this becoming a norm. Very simple. And I know it's not the popular thing to say. I've been saying it more than ever before.
It's the truth.
I'm just saying it's
you know what I'm really curious about? Let's say this peace deal in the Middle East actually holds. Let's just say there's peace in the Middle East. What happens to all these people? What are all these protesters? What do they all do? Because let me make a prediction. The same people that are doing the Free Palestine, the Gays for Gaza stuff, they were the same people doing the BLM stuff. They were the same people doing the trans stuff. They were the same people doing the Me Too movement. That whole collection of progressives. Right now, Trump's president. We're done with DEI. The trans stuff is done. Let's say there's peace in the Middle East. What do all these people do?
Well, Gays for Gaza are going to go to Gaza.
What are they going to focus on at that point?
Well, gays are going to go
because
party in
they need
Gaza.
to feel the oppressor,
how'd that go?
oppressed dichotomy. What's next?
Let me
Like this is something that we're going to find out in 2026.
Let me get to the next one here. Gay throuple adopts 3-year-old child in legal battle over 3 dads that's dividing woke dystopia. Okay? Policies brought to you by the left during COVID. Just want you to know this here, okay? Rob, if you have a clip on this one here, let me read this and then you can bring it up. A gay couple who adopted a little girl have launched lawsuits demanding that their home province of Quebec legally recognize all 3 of them as their parents, Eric LeBlanc, Jonathan Bedard, and this is in Canada, by the way. Again, COVID policies were all over the world, but these were the things that were getting extremely hot all over the world. Justin Mahou said they have been trying to become fathers for years until they were finally matched with a child this week. The trio, who lived together in Montreal as a throuple, said they have adopted the 3-year-old girl through the Quebec Youth Protection Services on Thursday. She's perfect. Watch this video, folks. Rob, is this them?
Yeah.
And that's the girl?
Did you guys cut the audio in the back?
So there's no audio?
There should be. They speak in French Canadian, I guarantee it.
Let's just maybe a
Maybe it's
little
cut on
part.
this
Put
part.
maybe the portions up. The audio is horrible. I mean, from their audio, people.
wedding rings as well.
So anyways, at the moment, Quebec's political and judiciary officials are at loggerheads over the issue, with one liberal Superior Court judge saying the status quo is unconstitutional while the province attempts to block any changes. Canada is generally ruled by very liberal laws, and several provinces, including Ontario and British Columbia, do legally recognize more than 2 parents. I mean, this is what it's come down to. a young girl being adopted by a throuple, whatever you want to call these guys, and we're okay, throuple, and we're okay with that? Vinny, what do you think about this story?
I think it's, you already know where I'm at. The fact that they're three guys, and mind you, I don't even care married or not. This poor girl is going to grow up into a house where these three guys, and as people that have gay, by the way, I have gay friends. We all know freaking gay people, but these dudes are going to be hooking up in the house. Okay, this little kid's going to hear things. She's going to see things, and she's going to be grown. She's going to be raised with nothing but confusion. Okay, they're robbing her of what she actually deserves. Girls need a mother to look up to guide her. Like, they need that softness, that warmth. Only a mom can give. These three throuple guys are not going to give it. She's going to be trapped in a house with adults that are looking for validation. All right, not for the kids' well-being, and they're calling themselves dad in a roof. That's not the family. And they're not thinking about her future. They're thinking about themselves. Okay, there's no mother. There's no balance. Nobody wants to say it, but these guys are going to act like it's brave. It's not. It's broken, and I don't care what society says. I am 100% against this. And the fact that, again, they're not married, which is even crazier. They're just three gay guys that are going to be living with each other, and one of them's pissed off because the state doesn't want to say that, oh, we're all parents. I'm 100% against this, Tom.
Well, a couple points here. Quebec is Quebecafornia, the province there. And I got all kinds of crap the other day from people came on X. I'm not going to watch a podcast anymore. You're dumping on Eastern Canadians. No, I wasn't. I was dumping on the Eastern Canadian government. And I'm dumping on the lunatics that would want it. And I'm dumping right now on the Quebecois. Not you. I'm dumping on the government that makes this legal in Quebec, because this is not a happy ending for the girl or for society. But I'll tell you what's going on, Vinny. You know why the story's out right now? Daily Mail's putting the story out that they know we'll be outraged. They know we'll be upset. But this is the drip, drip, drip of desensitizing us to the outrage, because this is the path they want to go down. The globalist and the people that want to destroy marriage long term, this is what they want. So they know that this story is going to draw fire from you and your passion, me, my faith, and my passion. They know that. But they want to continue to put this out to drip, 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 to make us slowly but surely desensitized to the outrage over a long time. And we have to hold the line of faith. We have to call evil evil.
The outrage.
Yeah.
And we need to stay outraged, because once upon a time, two people getting married and then adopting a kid drew outrage. Now there are an increasing percent of Americans that say, well, that's cool. Two women, two guys, that's cool. You and I both know that there is a gap in the child development sequencing that is innate to all of us as human beings, regardless of faith. There's a naturalness to what our dad does for us, how he represents what our mom does to us. It's natural. It's innate because of the way we're made, just the basic way we're made, not the laws that are around us.
Well, look, this reminds me of a movie that was famous in the 80s called 3 Men and a Baby. Do you guys remember that? I think
is that adult? Is it
it was
that's
yeah, here it goes right here. Tom Selleck,
oh, yeah,
Ted Danson. Remember this movie?
Yeah,
it was a good movie. Now, here's the difference between basically the 80s and what's going on today. These were 3 straight men, a baby that one of them could have been the father, the mother couldn't deal with it. She drops the baby off. Comedy ensues. 3 straight men, they're dating women, they're taking care of the baby, Mary, ha, 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 ha. They end up taking care of the baby. Fast forward to today, they're not 3 straight men taking care of a baby. They're 3 gay men in a throuple who had to basically protest the Quebec government to let them do it. And they're like, okay, let them have the baby, no problem. What do you think's going to happen with this baby in X amount of years? When she grows up and she's like, so what, you're my dad, but no, you're also my dad. You're also my dad. And okay, what's going to happen to this baby?
Adam, there's 3. So they're going to be hooking up and 3
the
guys in one room.
The left wonders why just normal, God-fearing, biblical Christian men and women are like, what the hell's going on here, guys? Now, I'm no advocate of Sharia law, but between Sharia law and gay throuples, I'm going to have a hard time picking here, guys. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because they're both absolute extremes.
And guess what? It doesn't have to be a throuple, which I think is even worse, because that's 3 guys in a bedroom all hooking up with each other, even if it was just the 2 guys. Like, what? You don't have no business with a freaking female, or what are we even talking about right now?
I am. What you do in your bedroom is none of my business.
That's fine.
Keep it to yourself. But when it comes down to a young baby going in there, I am very uncomfortable with this. I'm very uncomfortable. By the way, if you look at the Pew Research on how we were in the last 50 years of all of this to where we are right now, the numbers are staggering when you look at the numbers. That was the thing that Tom said, I think is a very good point, that we're being desensitized. Oh, no big deal. Let's go to the next story. You know, who cares, guys? That's their business. I don't care. Let's go to the next story. Makes me feel very, very uncomfortable with this story. Very. Anyways, all we can do is pray for her at this point, unless if those guys in Canada disagree with it. New York Attorney General Letitia James posts video responding to indictment. So she just got indicted, and story comes out with what happened with her, Rob. If you want to play the clip, but can we do we have what she's being indicted for, Rob? Can we first share with the audience what she's being indicted for? Because I think that the story is not here on that. But Letitia James posted a video on a statement on X denouncing the indictment against her as baseless and accusing President Trump of weaponization of our justice system. The indictment is discussed with CNN's Jake Tapper by New York congressional candidate Chris Gallant and a couple other people. And so here's what it is. October 9th, a federal grand jury returned an indictment charging New York Attorney General Letitia James with bank fraud and making false statements to a financial institution. The charges relate to her 2020 purchase of her home in Norfolk, Virginia, which prosecutors allege she misrepresented as a secondary residence to obtain favorable mortgage terms while allegedly renting it out and thus reaping an advantage. The U.S. Attorney, the Eastern District of Virginia, Lindsay Halligan, personally presented the case to grand jury. This is notable because U.S. Attorney seldom presents indictments. The Justice Department released notes that if convicted, James can face up to 30 years in prison per count, fines up to $1 million per count. Her arraignment, first court appearance is scheduled to be October 24th in the federal court in Norfolk. With that being said, here's Letitia James. Go ahead, Rob.
This is nothing more than a continuation of the president's desperate weaponization of our justice system. He is forcing federal law enforcement agencies to do his bidding, all because I did my job as the New York State Attorney General.
Yeah.
These charges are baseless.
Okay.
And the president's own public statements make clear that his only goal is political retribution at any cost. The president's actions are a grave violation of our constitutional order and have drawn sharp criticism from members of both parties. His decision to fire a United States attorney who refused to bring charges against me and replace them with someone who is blindly loyal not to the law, but to the president, is antithetical to the bedrock principles of our country. This is the time
I want to cry. I want to cry.
She's a really interesting reader.
Did she talk to Jake Tapper? Did she actually get on Jake Tapper and talk to anybody or no?
No, I have Jake Tapper. That's a different video.
And Rob, I sent you that clip before back in the day. It's so amazing. I sent Rob a clip
Can we
where she
read
just...
the last sentence, Sarah, about
say?
Being blind loyalty to a president and violating the bedrock of our thing?
Yeah.
Isn't that kind of what she... Wait a minute.
Oh, yeah.
No, maybe... No, yeah, it was.
Just by the way, it's ironic because what she's in trouble for, she was trying to do it for Trump, but she lied. And this is just beautiful. This is music to my ears. Could you play it, Tish?
Fraud.
My message
I'm a proud woman of faith.
no matter how powerful you
and I know that faith
sorry.
and I share the same
Yeah, we have to see that. I'm sorry, because she's trying to talk over herself, Rob. Go ahead.
There's a gift.
My message is simple. No matter how powerful you are.
Really?
No matter how much money you think you may have.
Okay.
No one is above the law.
Really?
And it is my responsibility and my duty and my job to enforce it.
Good.
The law is both powerful and fragile. And today in court, we will prove our case. I thank you all for being here. And again, justice will prevail.
Thank you. Like, it's so beautiful. I think it's so beautiful.
And as I sit in any of my 3 kitchens, all of which are my primary residence, I was thinking about what I'd say this morning.
Yeah, Tom, but isn't it awesome? Like, it's so funny. It's always, how many times you say it? It's always the ones pointing and trying to get you in trouble when it's you.
It's what I keep saying. These Democrats need to go to boomerang safety training.
That's what I'm saying. Explain it. They throw it and it comes right back. What is this
Rob,
one?
what is this, Rob?
This is Anderson Cooper actually taking a shot at Letitia James and her prosecution of Trump.
Is that tugging tubing?
It's not supposed to work. Jeff, I mean, according to PolitiFact, the day after she was elected in 2018, Letitia James was asked by a community activist if she was going to sue President Trump, and she replied, quote, "Oh, we're going to definitely sue him. We're going to be a real pain in the ass. He's going to know my name personally." I mean, that's not a great look for somebody who has just been elected or just been campaigning, who hasn't even looked, I guess, at deeply at any evidence. Well, that's, we live in a system where attorneys general and district attorneys in the United States, unlike almost any other country, are elected officials, are politicians. So they run for office making political statements. That's how our system works. It's not pretty. I don't think it's a great system, but there's nothing uncommon about it. The other point to make, though, is just because she made inappropriate comments, that doesn't mean she should get indicted for fraud years later. I mean, we're not supposed to live in a system of that kind of tit for tat. Criminal cases are supposed to stand or fall on their own merits. David, I mean, there's no evidence that Letitia James's indictment stems from some widespread audit of thousands of mortgage applications. System.
It's crazy.
Was that our friend Jeffrey Toobin?
Yeah,
again?
it's crazy.
I disagree with Jeffrey Toobin there. She made some wild statements, and now it's not. No. She made wild statements, and then she brought indictments, and then she pursued it. So thank you, Anderson Cooper, for pointing out the really bad look in the reflection here.
Well,
yeah.
But because here's the thing. She broke the law. You obviously broke the law. They're bringing it to the courts. Good luck. And just like she said, justice will prevail. If she's innocent, she should walk away.
Yeah, right? Toobin's been on the show. He was a very likable guy when he was here.
He had his pants on.
Come on, but Jeff,
I love him.
Come on, Jeffrey. You got to tell the whole story. To be fair, you got to tell the whole story. She didn't just make statements. She then proceeded with indictments. Let's be fair.
Thoughts?
Look, I mean, this is what Eric Trump basically just said, is that Trump didn't go after Biden. It didn't go after Biden's family, didn't, lock her up. So he might have said those speeches. He never actually went after Hillary or Biden, but the same can't be said of what they did for Trump. So she campaigned, I believe, in 2018. I remember this. She vowed to pursue Donald Trump. She called him a quote unquote illegitimate president. She campaigned on this. And then here's what happens. And with this same thing that happened with Andrew Tate, it's supposed to be find the crime, find the suspect. Find the crime, find the man. Flip it, what they did to Donald Trump is find Donald Trump, now let's find some crimes.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's find some crimes here, guys.
Thank you.
And this is exactly what's going on here. So, unfortunately, Tish, what goes around comes around. We don't want to have political retribution in this country, because here's what we know, and I'm shocked politicians don't know it. Maybe Trump understands this better than most. Every 4 to 8 years, the pendulum swings. And you might think you're in power now, but all of a sudden the other party's in power. And then the other party's come to power. And if we're just going to do this tit for tat, squabble, political retribution, then we're nothing more than a third world banana republic. So you have to actually respect the fact that Trump has not gone after Biden the way that Biden went after Trump.
Or the long list of, the spying.
What Eric Trump said.
Yeah.
Which is what Eric Trump said earlier. So we'll see. I mean, look, at the end of the day, if that's what happened and that comes out, what an embarrassment. I mean, is there anybody who has gained redemption more than Trump has if all this stuff comes out?
No.
Anybody in the history of mankind, like during our lifetime?
No.
I don't know if anybody during our lifetime.
No. How many people do you hear so-and-so was right about everything? Yeah. One person, you heard Trump.
Well, Eric gave me a hat, and they had a sign that says Trump was right about everything. So that's a top-selling hat that they have that they always talk about. By the way, Italians, guess what? We're back, Italians.
Forget about
it. I'm 18% Italian according to Ancestry. Trump ditches Indigenous People Day to honor Christopher Columbus. By the way, who did the Indigenous people? Is that Obama?
No,
is that Obama
no,
or was
it
it
Biden, wasn't it?
Who did the Indigenous people? Anyways, here's President Trump. Rob, if you want to play this clip while you're looking for it so we can see it. President Trump's traditional approach to American history is extending to Columbus Day with a proclamation celebrating Italian explorer Christopher Columbus as the original American hero and accusing his critics of slander. Go ahead, Rob.
Today we have your Columbus Day proclamation for Monday, which we're signing a bit early. Christopher Columbus obviously discovered the New World in 1492. He was a great Italian explorer. He sailed his 3 ships, the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria, across the Atlantic Ocean and landed in what's today the Caribbean. But this is a particularly important holiday for Italian Americans who celebrate the legacy of Christopher Columbus and the innovation and explorer zeal that he represented.
In other words, we're calling it Columbus Day.
Yes.
In other words.
That was the press that broke out in applause. Can you believe that? I've never seen that happen before. The press actually broke out in applause. Good. Columbus Day. We're back. Columbus Day, we're back.
We're back, baby.
Gotta love it.
I love that.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's Tom, your thoughts. This is not a story I want to spend a lot of time on, but
by the way, it was under Joe Biden. Joe Biden made
Indigenous.
the official proclamation in 2021. He formally commemorated the holiday and becoming the first president to call it International Indigenous Populations Day.
Do you think Biden, like, what percentage do you think Biden's watching the news and everything that's going on?
5%.
Do you think it's 5%?
I don't even think he knows what time is it, Pat. I'm dead serious. I'm not making fun. He was in bad shape when he left. I don't even think he's just. I don't know what drugs they have him on. By the way, I don't know if he's going through chemo or he must be.
Has he made any statements? Public statements recently?
He's.
I don't think he's as much of a vegetable as people are making him out to be.
But you think he's following? He doesn't. Adam, come on. Towards the end, he was really. He didn't know what the hell was going on. I feel bad. I feel
I'm not
bad.
saying that he's sharp as a tack. I just don't think that Biden is vegetable at this point. I mean, I haven't seen anything
You
like
think
that.
it's a fruit, maybe? Like what? I mean,
No,
Yeah, what do I think? I think
his
it's
agenda,
important to unwind ridiculous proclamations and to restore recognition to one of the great explorers. I think that's a good thing.
But let me ask you a question, just really fast, going back to Adam's thing. If let's just say, God forbid, a Democrat comes in the next cycle, they could easily just go right back and say, we're back to Indigenous whatever day. So, I mean, this is not that big.
Don't pick on Biden. He's an old guy. He's sick and everything.
Last time he spoke was in May.
To
60 Minutes.
And,
wow.
He changed it to Ingenuity People Day. And he's like, what's wrong with entrepreneurs?
Yeah,
Right,
he had no idea. Yeah,
he had no idea what they were doing. He's just putting stuff in front of him and signing it.
Well, look, I'll tell you what's worse than this whole Indigenous Day and Columbus Day is what Biden did last year when it was Easter and also Trans Day of Visibility. And on Easter, he's like, hey guys, happy Easter. But more importantly, Transgender Day of Visibility. Can we get a shout out to all my transgender folks out there? Yeah, do your little Easter egg hunk, you Christian people. Ba, 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 ba. Transgender Day of Visibility, guys. Here we go. Bing,
wasn't
bing,
it
bing.
on that day? I think
it was on that day, right there, Tom.
In the middle, where that one person, like the second year of his administration, was that where the girl
Vinny did a video on this. It was funny as hell. They did a White House dancing.
There wasn't this woman that did this little topless flash out there.
Oh yeah, it was a it was a trans guy that showed.
Would you want to see it again?
Breast. You want to show it real quick, Rob?
You're saying, Tom,
you going to see it?
I just don't think it's like people have
the
watches.
The four women would be jealous.
I will say this. I'm not going to make any Christopher Columbus fans here. Just imagine. You know, we all know 1492, Columbus Scared of Blue, Hernando Cortez and Ponce de Leon, all these explorers.
Go ahead, Ponce.
You live here in America. You're Native American. You got your house, your huts, your teepees. You're here. And some dude rolls up out of nowhere. He's like, what up? I just found this land. They're like, we're here.
Yeah.
We're already here. Nope. I found it. Finders, weepers, loopers, keepers, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's Columbus Day now, you indigenous people. So I do understand where indigenous people are coming from. Yes. But I think something that we have to remember, like everything is social media right now. There's outrage. History, it's all wars and brutality and if might makes right and survival of the fittest and Darwinism, and it's disgusting, and that's history. We're actually living in the safest time in human history right now. The bloodiest time in human history was in the 20th century, World War II, World War I.
Yeah.
So we forget how ugly history was.
Yeah.
Thank God we live in America now.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, I agree. Thank God I live in America right now too as well. Let's go to a couple stories before we wrap up. One of the stories that I'm going to go to is this guy named Puffy, which the president calls him. By the way, what picture was that, Ron?
That was Christopher
Columbus.
That's a bad picture.
That's a horrible painter.
I literally, it threw me off. That's not a good picture.
Yeah, what if he's like, hey, to the painter, he's like, guess what we need, Jay? What are you doing?
Wait. Isn't that person running for governor of California?
Is that
actually? That's kind of where I was going. It didn't look like a Christopher Columbus.
Get out of my damn shot,
Christy.
Get out of my effing boat.
Yeah. Let me get to the story here. All right. So I'll go to the other one. Democrats demand robot tax as AI reportedly threatens to replace 100 million U.S. jobs. Okay, that are going to be replacing. Let me read this to you. New Senate report warns that AI could displace nearly 100 million U.S. jobs within the next decade, spurring Democrats to push to a robot tax on companies that replace human workers with tech. The analysis produced by Democratic staffer on the Senate Health and Educational Labor Pensions Committee was driven by Senator Bernie Sanders' party, informed by responses from ChatGPT. 20 major workforce sectors were examined. It was found that 15 could see more than half of their positions replaced by AI systems or robotics. The hardest hit, the robot says, will be fast food and counter workers with an estimated 3 million jobs lost, which is about 89% of the workforce. Other high-risk fields include customer service, freight, and material movers, and executive assistants with projected automation rates above 80%. The robot also urges lawmakers to confront that Sanders has called an economic crossroads. Rob, if you want to play this clip, go for it.
Instead of providing billions in tax breaks to companies that are throwing workers out on the street and replacing them with new technologies, we should enact a robot tax. You think a lot about AI. What about that idea?
Bad idea, as usual. Look who's promoting it. It's a person who believes that people aren't taxed enough in America. He's literally trying to come up with a new tax scheme in his idea. The problem with our government right now is we are overtaxed in a lot of things, and we overspend on a lot of things as well. But Bernie Sanders' reflex is always more taxes, more regulations. We have to move towards a modern government. One of the things that I am working with Democrats on is AI. As you know, we convened Sam Locarno, a Democrat out of California. He and I have formed a group that we meet regularly and hear from the AI leaders around the world what we need. The biggest challenge right now is the issue of energy. If we're going to beat the Chinese in AI, we need the energy necessary to fuel AI because, as you know, it takes 9 times more energy than conventional computing.
Okay, Tom, thoughts?
Well, first of all, sorry I barked there where you were reading when I said who, but it's Bernie Sanders. No, that was I.
Hey, Tom.
Just look up.
It's okay.
You're reading
Tom,
on that.
Yeah,
it's okay, man.
It's not your fault.
What is
It's
that
okay,
noise?
Tom. We still love you. It's okay, Tom.
Yeah.
So Daddy's gonna be
Bernie
all right.
Sanders strikes again. Bernie Sanders strikes again. And on one side, you know what? I understand Bernie because he's on brand here. He's trying to defend workers. He's trying to do these things. And on the other hand, he doesn't see the correlation between like his regulation and his, free education and, minimum wage has to be a living wage, even if you're just working at a fast food restaurant a few hours a week. Come on. Actions have consequences and capitalism is undefeated. It's just like, ask any drunk person. Gravity's undefeated, right? That's what you discover. And so what's going on right here is kind of scary because now let's say an entrepreneur builds robots to do very simple things that were menial or maybe even had some risk in them. Sewage treatment plants, things like this. There are things that people do, trash collection, that have a degree of risk in it. And those will be displacing jobs, and robots will be doing that and more. And to thank the entrepreneur, and by the way, some people will be enjoying a lower cost of service because of that.
Of course.
In other words, they'll still be able to get, a $7 burger, fries, and a drink for lunch, thanks to the fact that the robots are in there doing part of it and they're saving the dollars on it. But now we're going to tax the robots. This is a really dangerous, slippery slope because it's going to basically put us in a position where, where does innovation start or stop? And I think this is a really dangerous piece of legislation.
Yeah, I agree. I think, look, there's no doubt that AI is going to replace people who are going to lose jobs. I don't know the percentage of jobs. That still remains to be seen. Some people are a little more skeptical. Some people are a little more aggressive with the numbers. But in typical Bernie Sanders tradition, just itching to tax people, just kind of like waiting to get in there. It's not like we don't have enough taxes in this country with federal tax, state income tax, city tax, sales tax, property tax, VAT tax, gasoline tax, capital gains tax, ordinary income. And then you pay all that and then you die. And if you're worth a certain amount of money, then you got to pay an estate tax. So it's like we're getting tax. And then here's Bernie Sanders being like, yeah, let's tax the robots too, not even the humans. So it just, their first option is more taxes.
But let's not. Rob, can you go to the Matt Walsh tweet? Matt Walsh tweeted this. See if you agree with Matt Walsh or not. I do think it's something that we have to be thinking about. And Matt Walsh is a, conservative guy. It says it's weird that we can already see how AI is about to wipe out millions of jobs all at once, destroy every artistic field, make it impossible for us to discern reality from fiction, destroy human civilization as we know it, and yet not one single thing is being done to stop it. We aren't putting up the fight whatsoever. Rob, this isn't the tweet. There's another tweet like this. Go back to his account. Go a little bit lower. Zoom in a little bit because my eyes are 47 years old next week. But zoom in, keep going lower. There's a tweet that he goes where he purely says, keep going. It's a massive tweet. Lower. Okay. Well, maybe it's an older tweet because he tweets a lot. He talks about how he is convinced for a fact AI is going to be destroying a lot of jobs, a lot of making it challenging for the economy. The question becomes, so Tom, what do you do? What jobs are not going to be replaced? Go there. What jobs is AI not going to be replacing? Okay? Because there's been many different technologies that we've come up with over the years. Oh my God, what's going to happen with this? Boom. It's the shift, right? Jobs go to a different place. We shift and go to a different place. What jobs do you think won't be replaced whatsoever?
Well, I think the entrepreneur themselves, people that create, and entrepreneurs can create art and everything, but artistic expression, you have any part of the brain where it's the creative pursuit, and it's not just the art painting on painter. It's people that are envisioning new solutions to these, not just the entrepreneurs of the business, but people, new solutions. Whereas the menial stuff, like putting nuts and bolts together in a little assembly line, robotic arms have been replacing humans at General Motors for a while. And Sean, what's-his-name, has been negotiating with General Motors on how quickly these robotic arms will be replacing assembly line. Sean O'Brien. Yeah, he's been negotiating for years with the auto industry about how fast they will put more arms, mechanical arms on the assembly line versus a human that doesn't have to think, just has to do, and do 25 years on an assembly line and go home with arthritis and rheumatism in both wrists. So those are going to be replaced. Taxi drivers, long-term, are going to be replaced. But there's a whole bunch of stuff on the knowledge workers and things that, are, and creative expression and innovative design and things are not going to be replaced.
Like here's a tweet. I just found this. So here's what Matt Walsh says, Rob. I just sent it to you, Rob, if you want to pull it up. While he's pulling it up, I'll just read it to you folks so you can see. He says, people say that we shouldn't worry about AI wiping out jobs. The jobs will change, they say, but the whole point of AI is that it removes the human competent entirely. The jobs aren't going to change. They'll just disappear. AI will make like 10 people into trillionaires, which I agree. I think Musk will be one in no time. Almost everyone else will be screwed. Mass unemployment, millions of workers rendered irrelevant all at once. That's what's going to happen. Not maybe, not might. It's going to happen, and it doesn't seem like we're doing anything at all to prepare for it. Do you agree with them?
If you really take a second, because think about how many millions of people, millions of Americans are not going to have any jobs. Then what's going to happen? How are they going to feed their families? This could potentially lead to something crazy. I'm talking about like war, civil war, where everybody, it's going to be the people that aren't really affected by it, those really, really rich people, and then everybody that's going to be, because I think it's going to happen like that. Like once it happens, Pat, because you were talking about which skills, electricians, podcasters, comedians, healthcare people, surgeons, which at some point that's going to be taken over too. But the regular jobs that people are having, it's going to go bye-bye. And what are Americans going to do? What are we going to do with all those people that have no jobs all of a sudden? How are they going to feed their families? What are they going to do?
Living on UBI for a government that prints money until you die.
Oh, it's over. Tom, but I think it's going to be bad. I think he's
Well,
right.
you know what
I think there needs to be guardrails.
You know what I think may happen? What may happen is there's going to be civilizations that are anti-AI. There will be places that will be built that have certain controls with AI where it's about human ingenuity. I think it's going to go like, and then, dude, I miss working. I want to build something. There's going to be pockets of it like this. A lot of it's going to be ran that way, but some of the other parts going to show up. That's the extreme measure. Mm-hmm. But I think some of the other things that YouTube is doing already, YouTube saying, I don't want any AI videos. We're not going to monetize for AI videos. More and more companies, all these consulting firms went out there and they moved their customer service into all AI, and the customers are not happy. They started losing customers to other people. They want to talk to people. Like, how many times you ever call somebody like 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0,
representative,
who's part of that community, right?
Yeah,
and then somebody picks up, hi, this is Mary Jones, from AT&T. What can I help you with? I said, Mary, I just want to talk to somebody. Yes, what can I help you with? Is this a real human being or a robot? Yes, what can I help you with? Oh, shit, I thought you were a human being, man. Give me somebody I can talk to, right?
Yeah.
But looks like it's going there. Adam, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, I think young men need to pay attention to this because there was an article, I think CBS right here, that says as AI threatens white-collar work, more young Americans choose blue-collar careers. Now, for a young man, I get a lot of questions on my neck. I'm young. I'm getting out of college. What should I be doing? You should definitely start thinking about jobs that will not be replaced by AI. So if you're working with your hands like a real man, like Mike Rowe in Dirty Jobs, like electricians, plumbers, welders, masons, HVAC guys, anything like that, anytime soon that will not be replaced by AI. But there are a lot of concerns about what jobs will be replaced by AI, but I'll give you maybe some upside. If AI actually takes people's jobs, maybe certain females' jobs that are a little bit more less hands-on, I still think we're going to have teachers. I still think we're going to have jobs that a man needs to do. I think a lot of women are going to be able to stay home and take care of the kids a little bit more, kind of back in the day. There might be a portion of AI that work does become automated. We don't need as much work. And this might lead to a little bit more of a baby boom. I don't know. I could be wrong. But I think as men kind of become more manly and get back to work with their hands, that kind of a thing, and AI replaces some of these female jobs, these white-collar jobs, women will go back to raising babies, and maybe, just maybe, the traditional family home gets back there, or we all just end up living in an AI-dominant world and none of us can leave the house. Who knows? But there might be some good that comes with this.
We will see, but brace for impact. Guys, we believe future looks bright, but remember, 51% future looks bright, 49% only the paranoid survive. Be ready for it, because crazy times are coming. Having said that, one last time, guys, if you got anybody that, if you agreed, disagreed with Tom, Vinny, or Adam, or Rob, sometimes maybe some of you guys disagreed with him, send a Manek. Those are QR code right there for all the folks. And right now, we got a bunch of new people that are getting on Manek, which is very, very exciting, especially after making the announcement that Tony Robbins is officially a strategic partner. Wow. For some of you guys that are making you got money, you know the value of Tony. Tony, when he speaks, it's $500,000 to $1 million speaking fee. If you want to Manek with Tony, Tony's also officially on Manek. He responds to everybody, but you can message him as well.
Did you see this breaking news, by the way? Our friend who won the Nobel Peace Prize
gave credit to Trump.
She said, I actually want to dedicate this award to Trump. I mean, she wants to dedicate to the Venezuelan people.
She knows. I respect
But she understands what Trump is doing.
Yeah.
So
and by the way, this Sean O'Brien, Teamster president, who I think he had an issue with Amazon. They're going back and forth. His podcast will be going live tomorrow morning. Stay tuned. We had a very interesting, entertaining, and by the way, In the middle of it, he tried to get Rob to join the union.
Really?
You have to watch his
during the
videos.
podcast.
Yeah, it's obviously he's a
kinda
great sense of
respect
humor
that.
guy. But gang, have a great weekend. We'll do it again next week. God bless. Bye bye.